Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we at the second rounds proud to you present your show. I'm not done. Can you wait for the whole performance?
Oh.
Mike, so violent.
What a dick.
Oh, well, be our guest. Be our guest. Put this second rounds to the test. Once you've heard us, spread the word and tell your friends that we're the best. We'll make you laugh. We'll make you cry as you sit down and... I messed up.
Keep going.
All right.
Let
me go again. Let me go again.
All right, ready?
Edit it.
Take two.
No, fuck that. I'm not editing shit. No.
All right, now I'm starting over.
Wait. I got to put that on the story. And go.
Be our guest. Be our guest. Put second rounds of Tuesday tests. Once you've heard us, spread the word and tell your friends that we're the best. We'll make you laugh. We'll make you sink as you sit and have a drink. Don't believe me? Don't be silly. Just turn in Accent City. Oh, so smooth. Jay Phoenix and with the real singer in the mix, Mr. Lave, who's an artist not to miss. And I'm Mr. A-Town Ryan. Now there's no denying. Now be our guest. Be our guest. Be our guest. Thank you. Off the dome, son. Off the dome, son.
Dude, you were reading.
I don't care. I wrote it. Off the dome.
Everyone saw that you were reading it.
I know.
But nonetheless, Alex, that was amazing.
Thank you. Oh, nice.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen. That beautiful musical interlude was brought to you by none other than, of course, me, Mr. A-Town Ryan. I'm hosting tonight. Round 95.
20, hello. What do you want to push us back?
Yeah, I want to go back and say, yo, let's just do another 75.
Yeah, before that shows up, this is what Alex has been here for 7 episodes.
not BM. That sounds terrible.
We're trying to get to 100. He's pushing us back.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I like
Let's just do it
27.
again.
That's
Let's just
around
do it again.
We may actually have to because for some reason I have no video.
No!
Oh, they got audio. I'm not doing that again. You only get one.
No.
Oh no.
You only get one.
Notice how tragic my voice sounds.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, then if you want to see it, you're going to have to listen to us, of course, which probably you are right now. But welcome, everyone.
Hello.
It's a beautiful Thursday.
Hello, Mr. A-Town Ryan.
It's nice and cool outside.
Yeah, it's a nice little cool. I mean,
I don't
the end of the summer is approaching, sadly. But my vacation just started. Cheers to my vacation.
Hey,
Clink.
Where's my
And
drink?
of course, if you can, well, you can't see, but we are not
working
drinking
on
tonight.
it.
So this is definitely a Mr. A-Town episode. It's a dry one because we are all drinking high quality H2O and for some reason a Crystal Pepsi. I don't know where the
I
Crystal
thought
Pepsi
that was
came
like
from.
a water, like a Pepsi brand water.
No, it's Crystal Pepsi. All right.
The Monkey King gets what he wants, and the Monkey
that
King
just
wants
goes to show that they don't need that brown stuff in the Pepsi.
No, it can
That's
work.
very racial.
I have no visual.
Pure oh, wow.
I have no
Wow, damn, Matt. Damn, Matt. Off the bat. After this week, too. Really?
Bro,
Really?
I gotta make some kind of joke.
I know. You've been through it.
I've been through the system.
Actually, I thought
He
that
has
was the
Literally
opening.
through the
I thought that was the
system.
opening to lead up to it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still traumatized.
Oh, you missed the dunk, bro.
What?
I'm still traumatized
the
by
dunk?
the cheese sandwiches and the milk.
Well, what happened, though? Why you so
Cheese sandwiches
I
and
just
milk.
don't want to talk about it.
sure?
Sound like something on Atlanta.
I don't want to talk about it. All I'm saying was I was incarcerated for
Yes,
a day and a half. No, like a whole day.
I remember
It was a
I
whole
remember
day.
that.
It
If
was
you-
right
if you
after
take-
this episode, last
Yes.
week's episode. I'm
Who you
cleaning
got
up.
challenged?
I had this table that we are so brilliantly, so
working on it.
nonchalantly just put everything on there. I had it in my hand with the recycling bag, and I'm going into my house, and of course the cops don't pull up and go, "Hey, freeze!" And I'm like, "What's going on?" They're like, "Open bottles," and I was like, "Yeah, in the recycling bag." And they're like, "Well, you know what? Give me your ID." And they gave me my ID, and they were like, "Oh, you got a knife on you. That's a nice knife. You're not supposed to have that outside your house." If only I know, we are outside my house right now in the front yard, so technically this is my house. And they're like, "Well, you're not supposed to have that on you. So, sorry, you're locked up." And yeah. So I went to the precinct. Then out of nowhere, I got a warrant, which they didn't even know what it was for. I don't even know what it was for. It was from 2 years ago, supposedly.
I'm curious where that accent came from, though. Is that's what happens when you spend a day
From Mississippi.
locked up? You get the whole southern
Right.
Well, you know
It
what
changed the
happens
man,
when- You know
apparently.
what
I
happens
mean,
when you go
He
behind
didn't have to be
bars,
trained
you
or
know,
anything,
but, you know, he's able to hit his high notes better now because, you know, for the party on August 19th, which is the
takeover.
Nice,
Hey,
nice.
well, thank God I didn't go to the island because then I would have not made it to the takeover.
Fernando
So.
would've protected you.
Yeah, Fernando would have definitely protected me. I don't want what happened in Power to happen to me. I don't want that now. I don't want
What in the
that. I don't
actual-
want that. But you know what?
But we are glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm
All right?
happy to
We're,
be
we're,
here. Ian
we're right back
Combos.
where we are. No one scared us away.
I'm not
We will
scared of
not
them.
be
Let them
afraid.
come back over here. I'm like, hey guys, how you doing? You didn't
And
do
what,
anything.
so, since you're not drinking, what are you drinking?
There's some Red Bull in here, and I have some water somewhere. But you know, got a nice
I'm
little
trying
Red
to
Bull
win
to pick me
everyone
up.
over. Now we'll just have water, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I like
No?
hot quality. You know
No,
what I was?
just for tonight?
Alex,
No?
honestly,
All right.
I've been drinking a lot of water with some lemon in it too.
Oh, yeah, good for your
And
voice.
I've been drinking a lot of Jade Phoenix's magic potion.
What is
Jesus.
that?
It's very disgusting.
No.
Can I tell you? Every time I take a sip of it, it's like I feel the throw up coming, but it never comes.
That's the worst feeling.
That
Right.
is-
Like when it's right
But
there.
no,
And
no,
it's
no.
like, for the love of God.
But
Can I beat
no,
it off
there's a
because
difference.
it's-
There's the
okay.
part where the throw comes up a little bit and it comes back down. That never happens. It's the gag part
Just
of it.
your body
and it's
wants
like,
to reject it.
it's coming. No.
Did you
No,
go
it's
into the
not.
bathroom and wait at the toilet going, it's going to happen, it's going to happen?
Yeah,
and never,
yeah.
did you
Not
do
at
that?
the toilet, in the sink. I don't know why, because I took it at
Why
the
did you
sink.
choose the sink?
Because I took this stuff at the sink and I'm like, yo, whatever. If I have to spit up or whatever, it goes right into the sink. And I was like, and I'm looking at myself. I'm like, you're not a bitch. You're
You're not a bitch.
you know what?
I'm not a bitch. I'm
I'm
not
good.
gonna do. I can't.
And then I went back and started warming up, and now I'm like me.
So you are ready for this Saturday.
Oh
There's
yeah,
so many
yeah,
in
it's
your windows
good.
that go
All
like
right.
that.
Yeah,
So
I am,
two-
I'm ready.
Mr. Malave's left my right. Miss Jade Phoenix, who's hard at work doing computer, she's telling me to move to the next one. All right, then to the next to him, it's Mr. So Smooth.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
How you doing?
What you doing?
I'm pretty damn
Yeah, how you
good.
doing,
man.
huh?
I'm
How you
very
doing,
excited.
huh?
Hey, you like how I did that, right? But how you doing?
It's so
man?
pathetic.
I'm ready for this episode. I can't wait for the weekend.
Wait, Tommy,
I'm going to
Tommy.
SummerSlam, man. I'm really excited. Bro. I'm really
I was
excited. Hey,
supposed
by
to
the
go.
way, thank you again, Mr.
No
A-Town,
problem,
Ryan.
no problem. Cheers
I was
to
supposed to-
SummerSlam.
Cheers to
Cheers to
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Cheers to
I was supposed to go to
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam
Me and
too.
Jade's going to be there.
I was
and we're
supposed-
going to be
I
rocking
was
it
supposed
down.
to go to
Let's
SummerSlam
Go
too.
Nakamura, man. I'm really excited.
But you
That's
get
gonna be
it. You get it on the
I
TV.
can't
I was
wait.
supposed
I
to
got
go
my
to
first real
SummerSlam too.
WWE pay-per-view, so like I'm like really pumped up and excited, and I can't wait to discuss tonight. Tonight's gonna be a great episode.
Oh, God.
We're gonna talk about.
Shut up.
Wait,
Shut
I know
up.
Wait, Tommy,
Shut
Tommy,
up.
Tommy, I know what you're doing on Sunday, SummerSlam, of course, which I was supposed to go to,
You were
but
supposed to, yeah.
I lost a lot of money when I was getting locked up. I lost a lot of money. But
Well, that's
what
why
do
you can't be playing cards against these guys.
I don't
man. These guys-
No,
these
I
guys
don't
are
play
big.
cards in bookings. No, you play CeeLo. You don't play cards.
Oh,
You wouldn't know. He's not.
I wouldn't know. I used to play CeeLo.
So anyway,
yeah.
I got a question though. I
You
got a
see where
question
I
for you.
fucking listen.
know.
I got a question for you. What are you doing Saturday?
So
The 19th.
Saturday and the 19th. All right, so I'm gonna go to sleep. Right, I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna get a haircut because I gotta get a little shape up. I gotta look a little better.
I'm getting mine tomorrow.
And then after that, I have to go to the bank because I have to get served.
Yeah.
And then after
Yeah.
I get served, I'm gonna be going to Lone Star Bar and Grill in
Oh.
Brooklyn, New York.
I'm gonna be there.
You're gonna be there?
Yeah.
Alex, I heard you're gonna be there too.
I am gonna be there.
Jade, I heard you're gonna be there.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm having technical difficulties. I
Why
can't
are
get I can't get a picture. It's
seems
not
that-
even it's not even sound.
It seems that Be
I
Live is being
I gotta reset it.
B-ish.
Oh.
No, I just gotta reset the website. It's fine. I can do it. It's good.
Okay.
Jade right now is handling this technology issue that
She's
we're having right now.
technically
But
our
it's okay
IT.
though, because you know
Don't
August
know.
19th is
Me
the
and Alex
takeover.
share
The
that.
The
This is
takeover,
takeover.
just the
takeover.
And yes, NXT is also throwing their takeover, but
We have a better takeover.
And it's an
And it's the official after party of FlameCon and the takeover from NXT, so you all better come around.
What does that mean? That it's glorious?
And it
Yes.
might, considering he is going to drop the
Yeah,
title.
that's Drew
He's
McIntyre
going
right
to
now.
drop the title, and
'Cause
he
he's
will
gonna
make
be
his
on Raw.
debut on Raw.
I want him
That
to
would
be
be
on
awesome,
SmackDown.
He should make his
Actually.
debut at SummerSlam so I can.
No, he's
No,
not.
because they're already announcing the
but
other
then I'd
guy
have
at
to change my
NXT.
Honestly though,
I have to change my
honestly,
Is
I
The
think
Rock gonna
he
be
would
there?
in a better-
It doesn't matter.
I think
I-
he would be better
then I'll
on
be
SmackDown.
jealous.
I don't think
If The
it- I don't
Rock
think so.
shows shows up,
I don't think
then
so.
I don't disagree.
you sure?
Right.
The Rock's got better things in his
Come on.
life. He's
Right.
like Rampage
And he'll be like
what's the
insane.
other?
The other movie he's
Jungle
working
Cruise.
on.
He's doing Jungle Cruise.
He
too.
might. He
Yes.
might try. No. When does Jumanji come out?
Wait, so did you hear about The Rock? He
Oh,
has
sorry.
like, so the Brahma Bull, his
Yeah,
famous
he
tattoo,
changed it to
he,
Saul.
he covered it up, and now it's like a skull Brahma Bull, but like the horn is like over here,
Oh.
and like the whole like.
You're saying over here, but people can't see you. You have to specify
Well-
where over here
Well,
is.
I'm talking to you guys. So over his shoulder,
On his
and
left
It's
side.
basically like half of his arm now.
Yeah,
Instead
I
of
saw
just
it.
that middle part
Yeah,
with
so
the
the
Brahma
top of his
Bull.
shoulder
Right.
on his back,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
So it's
the
like
skull
the
is on the
horn
face
is
with a-
like over here next to his shoulder blade, and then like the rest
Yeah,
of the
it's
bull
sick.
face is like in front.
And he has a beard too. That's
Well,
just
he has
weird.
a but I think
Bearded
that's for a
Rock
movie.
is very
I think
weird.
that's for a movie though.
Right.
Yeah, it's
It
like
might be for Fast and the Furious
Wait.
9.
maybe.
That's too
Wait,
many.
what?
I can't.
Yeah, you didn't
Well,
see
they're
that.
gonna do 10
Oh
of
well,
them.
I'm
They said.
sorry. That's my mistake because I was
Oh,
supposed to
wait.
keep on. The people talking that you have no idea who it is are our guests for tonight, the admins and founding members, right?
Yeah.
Of Blaq Cosplay Unlimited,
Oh, hey.
Miss Susan and Mr. Cato. Say something to the people.
Hi,
to the second round.
everybody. What's going on? We're so excited to be here, actually.
They got no idea what they got themselves into.
Oh my gosh.
We're 10 minutes in and we've just been talking shit.
It's gonna
Yeah,
get.
mainly because of my stupid technical difficulties.
God,
we're
damn
gonna
it.
That's just what we do.
Eli,
Yeah.
we're sending you an email tonight.
Oh, I'll be on the phone with their staff tomorrow.
I believe
I'm not
that one.
paying for this shit if you ain't gonna work.
I believe that one.
So,
That's Jay Phoenix. She's also drinking the water. But let's go back to our guest.
it's delicious. It's high quality issue.
High quality.
High quality.
It's
High
only
quality.
it's only So what are you guys drinking? One of you is drinking a Crystal Pepsi. I can't get over it. Why is it still in
Hey,
circulation?
Okay, so Kato here, aka Wukong.
Sun Wukong. Better give that full
Yeah,
name.
Sun Wukong. So basically, I'm drinking Crystal Pepsi because I haven't had one since Do the Right Thing came out. And I remember everyone saying that Crystal Pepsi was nasty. I was the only one that liked it.
Wait.
So
Time out. You mentioned Do the Right Thing. Let's just go back to that real quick before we get back into Crystal Pepsi. So you saw that movie?
of course I did.
Okay. So I wanted to say
Why?
Crystal
Why?
Pepsi.
Wait. What does that mean?
In
Like in
theaters.
theaters?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. I'm old. I'm old. Extremely old.
I've seen
Yeah.
it. I know you're not trying to. I've seen it since we've had that conversation. So
Age
kiss
is
my ass.
just a number.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
For the longest time, I haven't seen Do the Right Thing up until last year.
What?
Were you a millennial?
Wait, what?
No, that's the
Oh
thing.
my-
You know what it is? It shut up. It never came on. And when I was young, my mommy did not allow me to watch bad movies.
Mom,
And
Bad
shut-
movies?
Look,
I
in the first
understand
scene,
completely.
you
Bad
see
movie.
Rosie Perez's nipple. Oh my God.
No, not in the
Cheers
first
to
scene.
Rosie Perez's nipple.
Not in the first
All
scene.
right. In the beginning of the movie.
It
You're
was,
always losing the money.
and it was a stunt woman, by
Sorry,
the way.
sorry.
It wasn't her nipple.
It wasn't hers. It was a
It
body
was a
double.
body double.
It's a butt.
It's a body double.
What?
Mind blown.
The only
Yeah,
time
take back the cheers,
you know
take
what?
back
the cheers,
No,
take back the
the
cheers.
only
That's
movie you
it.
get to see her nipples, if I remember correctly, is White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've seen it then. I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. Cheers to Rosie Perez's nipple.
Okay.
It's just-
In
Because at that time she was still breaking into the industry, so she was like, I want to be conservative. But then they realized like, oh, White Man Can't Jump. She's making a lot of money, and now it's like, show me your nipples. Okay, it's a white boy. I'll do it.
Well, I mean, it's not like Halle Berry, so.
Well,
Well,
you
wow.
know,
So she got paid a lot of money for them
She
fried
got paid
eggs.
$500,000 a
Yeah,
tip.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah, for those fried eggs.
No. It just
And
says
honestly,
nipple
that scene was so pointless in the whole movie.
Yeah.
She's just chilling, and then they go, so wait, oh, you're here? Yes, I am. How you
Well,
doing?
well,
These
here's
my
the thing.
titties. Thank you.
I wouldn't say it was pointless, because if you think about it, they got a lot of money for that movie just to see that one scene.
I have to restart the
The
whole
rest of the movie
computer.
sucked.
You want me to take a look?
Swordfish was
So-
horrible.
It is.
Yeah,
I know what it is.
yeah.
It's because
Great
they got
cast.
unhooked.
Well, I'm glad I waited for it to come out on
Fucking
on,
horrible.
on
Probably
tape.
have to restart
Well,
the
I got the
computer.
bootleg tape.
Oh,
when
okay,
it came
that
out.
works.
You remember bootleg tapes, right? Yo,
Somewhat.
the hustle that the
We still have-
bootleggers had. They had to carry around with bags, like a heavy shit with
Yeah,
videotape.
VHS.
Yeah, rugs.
And then throwing the sheet down.
Rugs and carpets.
Ching tat tat.
I remember those days when you had to press rewind and wait.
Oh my god.
How long is this movie? Titanic is 3 hours.
Wait.
Oh,
No.
Titanic with two tapes.
No, but
Well,
the
I only
worst
watched
part.
one tape.
Yeah,
though,
the
dude.
best part is
The
when
second,
they
Hold on, hold
decided,
on.
yeah,
video.
what's
The
the-
second
You said you
video
remember
after-
pressing-
because it has the titties and everything, and then the iceberg. That's the best. They should have just had that second part as the movie.
Right.
So-
About
so-
an hour
How you
and a
doing? I'm
half.
Jack. How you doing? I'm Rose. Can I paint you? Paint me like you paint your French women.
Boom.
Good.
Somebody please tell Danny fuck you.
Then
He just said, fire the IT guy.
Hey, Don.
Wait, write it right now.
Fuck you.
No, because
Fuck you.
apparently
Fuck
we're still
you.
live.
But they can hear us.
But
So-
my computer isn't live.
no.
They can't hear us because my computer's off. I had to restart the whole computer
that's fine.
to make this stupid thing work.
Oh no.
Today of all days.
And it was
a
at that
Galaxy.
moment that
Don't do
Jade
it.
broke both her phone and her computer.
In one foul swoop.
And now,
And then as the computer fell, the wire pulled from
The
the
whole
camera,
thing
and the camera
got
fell.
destroyed.
You know
That'll
why?
be the second one that's
Because
gotten
this is a dry
destroyed in the
episode, we're
span
not
of this
drinking.
That's the
podcast.
thing.
It is. Everyone's-
See,
everyone's like,
you're-
what
I'm
is
normal.
going on?
I'm the same
We're on edge.
because you people
No,
have
all
a problem.
of us here are like, where the hell is that?
You all have problems, so you know you
I
need.
know. You know what? Seriously, with all the
I don't know
difficulties
about
right
you
now, I
guys,
need
but I'm
help.
alright.
Wait
I'm
till
fine.
Saturday, you'll see a problem.
I don't know,
Oh
I don't
my
know about
God.
you guys, but I'm okay. I'm not going through no
No.
kind of withdrawal.
The
You
scratching.
know, right after this, he's gonna run 1, 2, 3. Ah.
Well, I actually
Right,
pre-game this, so. we're
Oh, so
good.
you good? So you
Oh my God.
See, you're making jokes, but I don't know what's gonna happen when I finish this crystal.
Moonshine.
Yo, so yeah, I went
I'm gonna start
upstate,
gloating.
right? And they have a distillery. So they have a whole bunch of moonshine and like
Oh, my
infused
word.
moonshines. So I bought
take 2 shots of
strawberry
moonshine.
moonshine.
Are you
and they had
serious?
strawberries in them.
What?
So this was the whole experience. I go, hey Tommy, we could pregame this fucking episode. I know it's like a dry
We're not
episode.
drinking on the episode.
So we went pop,
You motherfuckers had moonshine.
and we went like this.
That's worse
we
than
went,
having
I
a
went like
drink on
this.
the
Ready? I went. Ooh.
It was strawberry too.
Ooh.
Oh, well, yeah, that
You
makes it
didn't
better.
taste the strawberry.
No, I know.
All you had was this alcohol. Just,
I felt the burn down here. I was like,
It's fire.
5 minutes later, I was like, I think the moonshine.
This is not a dry.
oh, dude, just hit that.
That was
Dude, hit
good.
that shit.
You guys don't know I can sing.
You guys had.
we need a Mr. Milano
You had.
featuring
That's
JP.
Yes.
worse than any bottles. You just.
Well, you know, there's
Alex,
a lot out there
Alex,
too.
I can give you
Devil
Smirnoffs.
Springs.
And you'll
Ew.
be like, lit.
Wait,
No.
you do the Harlem
Alex,
Shake?
that's why I
R.I.P.
Oh, you wait till Saturday when Alex is on the dance floor.
I'm not drinking.
I'm the only
You don't
straight
need
edge
to
here.
drink the dance.
I'm not doing the Harlem. That
I'm
I
only
know
straight
the Harlem
edge.
Shake.
No,
I
you do the Alex dance.
Yes.
Oh, the.
Yeah.
That's
No, that's a typical black dance.
Yeah,
Hey,
That's
it
not
ain't
a
no
typical
typical
black
black
It
man
is. It
dance.
is. It is a typical.
It is not.
That's not a typical.
I'm sorry,
black
white
dance.
people. You want to claim
You
it back?
actually, it is.
I
know, right?
Dude, I work in
Yeah, the
Harlem.
experts
Trust
on
me.
black dance is right
They
there.
both
I
go.
have black
You
They
should
go,
see his
hey,
dance.
wait a minute,
I have
sir.
black friends, and I've seen them.
I am the black
Famous
friend.
I know.
Alex, Alex and Jay goes, wait a minute, sir. That is not just a black dance. That is an everyone
Is
dance.
that a white person accent? Because that's horrible.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Well, then talk, guys. Show me.
Like, excuse me, sir. You need to understand that that is not a white person's dance. That is a black man's
sounds like
dance.
You
Okay.
need to stop being a dick.
Like,
I-
honestly,
A deck? A
like,
deck?
really? Like,
Deck.
that is
Because
a
we
total
emphasize our
deck.
words and we stretch them
So,
out to
so for my
deck.
fellow minorities
We
that are
put the
here,
wrong-
on the count of three,
Cheers.
we're gonna say
Only-
the
only-
most
only the
ignorant fuck
minorities
you
share.
in the world. One,
Only the
2,
minorities
3.
share.
Fuck
you.
you.
My mom is
There we go,
watching.
cheers.
Oh, okay. Sorry, mama.
See, but
Sorry,
you know
Mama.
what? Us white people, we wouldn't do that though. We would
No,
say
we
no.
do the-
Our moms are watching,
jerk
so
dance.
hey,
Yeah.
hey,
My mom-
cut the malarkey and let's get down to
Let's cut the
business,
malarkey.
okay?
Yeah,
The Lord.
Let's get down to business.
And
Right.
let's do get down to business.
Let's get down to business.
Look, Bucko.
Let's steer the shit.
Look, you bucko! I will call the police right now.
No, you're not.
I swear I will do it.
Well, what
Mom.
did he do? What did he do?
Because we tell, man. We tell.
Murder?
We tell on people.
Murder?
Why do you think when the cops came, I was like, you want to go to Spanish guy? I
Yo, you
pointed
know
him
what's
out.
funny? You know what's funny? I'm in
Yeah,
the
you
car.
totally
I'm
sold
in the
his
car,
ass
right?
out.
I'm
I
in
told
the
his
car
ass
right
like
here in the
turning
corner.
around, being like, no, we were
I'm
just
in the car
chilling.
right here in the corner, and I see my two white friends walk around. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get free. I'm gonna be free. Fuck the police. I'm gonna be free.
I worked on it.
And it made it worse.
And
But you let the white people go. Exactly.
2 hours later, I hear Jade still screaming and me still locked up. And the guy goes, "So you got a warrant now?" And I'm like, "Damn it, Jade!"
No, I can tell you exactly what happened because the guy knew he had nothing on you.
Right.
So honestly, one of the guys heard me screaming and yelling in the front, ran to the back to tell that cop to say, "You better hope something pops up on this fucking kid because you are so fucked."
Ding!
And all of a sudden, magically, a warrant appears from 2015.
There we
But
go.
see, now here's the fun part: your ID is still your old address.
All right,
Any
we're
warrant? Any warrant? What
This
is
can
on the
all
old
this can
address?
all be used legal. So
know
man,
what?
let's get this off
This is
the air.
2017, and a lot of fucked up shit has happened over the past couple of years. So how
Past
you
couple
guys
of
doing?
weeks.
Past couple of days.
Yeah,
Hey.
Everyone say hello to Mama Malave. Hey, Mama Malave is gonna be at Lone Star Bar and Grill August 19th.
All right, Mama.
But let's steer the. I'm trying.
Steer it back.
The ship
get
is
down
going
to
far,
brass
but
gotta steer the
let's
ship
steer it
You know
back.
why? You still got your sails on. You need to stop.
I
and
guess-
go
down with the
motorize.
ship.
Is it how are we doing with the? Nah?
No, it's
All right,
still
so
no.
No.
let's just go. All right, so
This is cool. I can still keep my Wukong persona. No one know what I look like yet.
oh, speaking of Sun Wukong, we first met these guys at Eternal Con, and I tell you that Monkey King, man, because we were interviewing people, and I was like, we gotta get the Monkey King, we gotta get them, get him, and like we're trying to push through, and I like to apologize on air to your other friend Jocelyn. That was not Uhura.
No.
Sadly, she couldn't make it tonight.
Yeah, she couldn't make it tonight, but
Cheers.
I like to cheers
Yes.
to her.
Cheers to her.
Cheers to Podbean.
Here's the Bobby.
Cheers to Tour Music.
Tour music.
And as always, cheers to the messenger. To the messenger.
He's such a good guy.
I know he's the
You
best.
guys
but-
seen Cool Runnings, right?
No.
A long time ago.
Oh, don't do that to him. Don't do
I
that.
was-
It's okay.
No,
It's
just
okay.
stay, just
It's
That's
okay.
a black movie, man.
I watched it when it came out. I was little, so it's been a long time.
I love that.
No, you don't watch that kind of movie. You just watch once. You have to watch it.
I love that movie.
Every
You
I
know,
day.
appreciated it at
here's
the
the thing that I
time.
find interesting to me.
I did see that. I was like, oh, yay, Netflix. Thanks, guys.
You're never gonna
and
watch
then
it.
I scrolled past it to, like, Kimmy Schmidt.
What?
So here's the interesting to me.
We'll get her later.
Apparently, I had a weird childhood growing up because I always hear people refer to movies as black movies, white movies. But to me, in my household, a black movie was the Sunday kung fu movies. Like it's just
Oh, yeah.
weird. Because I mean, being a black
that's
person,
interesting.
yeah, like being a black person, I grew up watching kung fu films. So I'm like,
The legend
is that a black film?
continues.
it's just, it was always like, if you're black and you watch this, that was supposed to be the film.
That's
So-
gonna stay in my head now.
Oh, like the Last
I'm gonna be
Dragon.
like Kung Fu films?
Yeah, like
Black
The Last
films.
Dragon.
Oh, the Last
Like, that's
Dragon. Cheers to the Last
Like,
Dragon.
that's what the black people do.
Oh, I love that movie. That is our black
Last
kung fu.
Dragon,
Oh yeah, I know that
Last-
movie line by line by heart.
Bruce Leroy.
I got some real for your ass in these things.
That was also the name of Anthony Anderson's baby in My Baby Daddy.
Yes.
And that's why.
Yeah.
That was a gay
Please work,
movie.
please work,
Yeah,
please
that
work,
was
please
alright.
work, please work, please
Yeah, it
work.
was
Wait, all right. How was it a gay movie when all of them were fathers?
I thought it was a little gay.
It was a little good.
That's like Daddy Daycare. Wasn't that good?
No, Daddy Daycare.
I was like,
Wasn't that good?
no.
Yeah, it
Wasn't that
was.
good?
That was.
But as you said, like the Suck Sun Wukong, and it was amazing.
Thank you, thank you.
So of course we had to get you on, had to talk, and well, the question we usually ask all our cosplayers right off the bat: what first made you get started in cosplay? What was the thing that said, I'm doing this?
Okay, so here's the funny thing. I don't know if this is like with all cosplayers, but the thing that got me started in the cosplay was more or less, as a kid, I always liked dressing up for Halloween.
Yeah.
And I was the type of person that I was like, well, why can't I do this every day? So I didn't know what cosplaying was or whatever. And then as I got older, I went to Comic-Con. Ironically, I went to Comic-Con with Jocelyn and Susan.
Yeah.
And the first year, I actually dressed up as Kato from the Green Hornet, and
Okay.
my son was Batman. So we went as Kato and Batman. Then, like, I think, like during that Comic-Con, I wore 3 costumes, one for each day, and since then I've been wearing one for each day. And that's pretty much how I started. The Wukong thing came a little bit later because I wanted to differentiate myself from everyone else.
Well, you sure did. Because I saw you had the one that we saw, and so you had another version of that one.
Yeah, I have now, oh man,
You have 4 versions.
about 4 versions,
Yeah.
5 versions. Because one I didn't finish yet. I still got to get the front arms.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have 5 versions now of,
So do
of
you
Monkey King.
do you make it yourself to sew everything?
Yes, hand sewn, stitching, no machine because I don't have one.
Wow, so it's just wow.
Yeah.
That's
He
dedication.
also has a lot of assembly assistants. Each
Yeah.
Oh,
project.
yeah, Susan.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what made you
Just
get
want to point
started?
that out.
Thank you for embarrassing me.
Yep.
So what
I'm
made you
here.
get started in cosplay?
So interestingly, I've always had a love for like comic books and things like that, like Ninja Turtles, X-Men. Those are my gateway drugs. So
Nightwing.
As us all.
Nightwing.
As us.
we're not gonna talk about
Dragon
Nightwing
Ball
yet.
Z.
Like,
Teen Titans.
What was your
Sapphire.
gateway
Yeah,
drug
I'm
into
still
the
on the
world?
gateway drug.
What started you?
yes, this is my gateway drug.
Actually, we're gonna use that
So
next.
you know, I always struggle
We're
with
taking
being
that.
I always struggled with being very girly, but also having these like geek interests. So kind of fast forward, me and Jocelyn's first New York Comic Con was maybe 2008, 2009, and we just went like super civilian status. Like we're like literally 2 days
They
before.
probably saw me there.
Maybe, probably.
I was running around as the Phoenix then.
Yes. Because like that first year, we were just like, oh, there's tickets to this con. Let's go. This is before New York Comic Con became the behemoth it is.
Before Heroes of Cosplay.
Before mainstream.
Right. Before mainstream.
I don't even know if we want to talk about the changes. We'll
get to that a little bit later. So we go, like, we're like, okay, let's just walk around, check it out, because, we were excited, we're started as friends from work, so we found we had these interests. We're both, like, we're super girly, we also like comic book stuff. So we went, kind of just scoping it out, and we're, like, seeing all these amazing costumes, like, wow, this is actually really cool, not really being familiar that this is a whole subculture. And, we really discovered it then, and we're like, okay, one year, we're going to do it, we're going to dress up. So it's actually the second year, Akiim, Kato started coming with us, and
Was that the ninja outfit?
Yes, that was ninja outfit, and I did my terrible poison ivy. Like it was real sad.
I showed you
It
the
was
first
first
one I
cosplay.
did was a Killer Croc,
Yes.
which is terrible.
I got it. What was terrible about the poison ivy?
It was like real thrown together. Like I actually found this dress. Don't laugh at me.
See, here's the thing. The reason I'm laughing, there was something that was said, and I don't know if I should say it because I don't want to embarrass her, but it was hilarious.
Just say it.
So
On this show, you say it.
okay, so
You can't say
So-
there's an embarrassing story and then not say the story.
Right.
okay, so cool. So here's the funny thing. Not to offend anybody out there. Remember, we were just starting out, but so we go to the Comic Con, right? When she's in her makeshift poison ivy outfit, then we see someone who's like doing it. Like she came in there, like she came off the page. It's like, oh, like some of us don't have jobs and lives and things
Wait,
to do.
you said that? You said
She was
that?
like, some of us got
you
jobs
broke
and
the-
lives.
You broke the
and
rules.
things to do.
Right off the bat.
And I'm looking at her like, you just hating. And she's like, damn right I'm hating.
That's
She-
a normal thing to say.
Yeah,
Be like, well,
but
you know
no.
what? I go to fucking work.
Right, I was like, I
but it
don't
was
have time
hilarious
for this.
because it inspired her next year. She was like, oh no, all right, no.
It really did.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna
Quit your
come
job and
correct.
everything.
Well,
Yeah,
thankfully,
pretty much.
I'm gonna do cosplay full time.
ever.
She was like, Yaya Han can do it, I can do it.
She said, tell it.
Yes. Hi,
Yaya
Jocelyn,
Han
we
can do it, I
miss
can do it.
you. So, Jocelyn. So from I'll actually go.
This guy's a little rascal. You got to.
So I'll describe the poison ivy. So I got like a cute little red wig with a little Betty Bang. Did my makeup real cute, but like I passed it off as casual.
Yeah, like I don't
ivy.
care.
Your girl
I
said
do this
no,
in my
you don't
sleep.
miss her.
No, it's lies. I do. So it was a little like green dress with like little ivy prints on it. And don't laugh at me.
Jimmy's like, continue.
I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what matters.
Yes.
Yes.
So I feel like when you first start, like with your cosplay journey, it's almost like going through puberty. Like it starts off real awkward, but then as you progress.
Okay. See, I think I have to disagree with that. I think it depends on the person because I found it ironic that even though it's technically my first time doing cosplay, a lot of people were saying that my Kato outfit was better than like most of the other people. I'm like, really?
Congratulations.
And I thought it was.
Congratulations.
He's like, I'm a,
Congratulations.
I was an early bloomer, damn it.
Yeah.
I got it right on the first try.
Exactly.
Hey,
I had the
nailed my
gloves from the
Star-Lord.
movie and
I
everything.
nailed Star-Lord.
You got that at a Halloween store.
Party
But-
City. Yes.
Party City.
But that next year.
At least I made an effort. You saw mine. That's Mine was I took when we had went to a birthday party for his son,
Yes.
and it was a Batman piñata.
Okay.
And when they broke it, the Batman head was still attached. So I like,
Nice.
I'm using this.
Right.
So I said, all right, who would have a Batman head? All right, Killer Croc. So I literally took my cousin's green
Oh, that's
hoodie, but
hilarious.
it had the texture of like a reptile.
Right.
I
sick,
put on.
though.
I got a
Right. It
reptile,
was
man.
functional.
Like it was say, I mean, when he grabbed the head though, my dad's like, "The fuck's he gonna do with that?" I'm like, "I have a train." Game on.
Game
So
on.
I figured that.
She says emphasis on little. I don't know what that means. To you.
That could be
Wait,
taken
what?
in many
She
different
said
ways.
emphasis on little. I
Well, I
think.
know she's not talking about
I don't know
Leaves.
what she meant.
I'm just like, oh, my dress was too small.
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, there was a lot to see that day. A lot to see.
No,
That's-
trust me. I know all about
That's
it.
kind of my
first
cause
cosplay was
aesthetic.
Yeah, she didn't have a peekaboo. She had a peek.
Peek at you.
Yeah, peek at you.
But yeah, no, I know all about the
turning
cosplay
red.
journey.
He's turning
Yes.
All
So,
about that cosplay journey.
the fu-
This episode of
Let's just say, hopefully, she didn't pick nothing up.
Thankfully, no.
I don't know. You may
no.
have picked up some strays back then. You
I have a lot of stray stories. That's a whole other episode.
Oh yeah.
I want one.
You can't say you. One.
Okay.
Arrow or the other one?
What?
He knows it.
Yeah.
I'm
What?
putting this
Well,
cosplay strays.
This is
We'll
cosplay
tap-
true confessions. Let's go.
we'll tap into the arrow story. So it was actually our third year of cosplaying, and shut up. So
This is the year I went as Deadpool, so I had so much fun.
yes. So it was like, I think it was like a Thursday or Friday. I was dressed as a Tana, so like get my cosplay game up, like I had my cute little white corset and my little top hat and my
Yeah,
Booty
jack on my
shorts.
tail.
Yeah, it was put together.
It wasn't even booty shorts actually, but anyway.
Trust me, my Cammy has the same problem.
Yes.
Keyword is short.
So I'm prancing around, enjoying my best cosplay life with my little black wig. And me and Jocelyn are in line. She's actually that's her first year doing the Orion girl. So we're in line waiting for a
The
panel.
one I
It's the-
thought that was a her.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're in line.
I
We're
know.
waiting for the Ninja Turtle
Sorry
panel.
again.
He's
I
already
remember
inside.
I remember this con.
Yes,
Were you one
it
of one of the big group of Deadpools that was just running around?
No. I was doing my own separate thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Because that
Actually,
year,
no. The thing is, I think that day I wasn't Deadpool. I think that day I actually
You were
I
something
think
else.
I was
may-
Monkey King.
You were Monkey
You know
King
what's
that
funny
day.
is I think I may, if I go through all of my old folders of Comic-Con photos, I may have photos of you.
Which
Okay.
is
Well,
hilarious.
my Deadpool costume was standard because it was leather. So yeah.
I remember you.
Okay.
I remember your cosplay. I was like, that's sick.
Right.
And it was before the movie.
Yes.
it was before.
I had the
that.
video
Right,
game
right,
suit.
right,
I had the
right.
video game
Yes,
suit.
you
Yes.
did. I remember you
Yes.
now because I'm like, that costume is sick. And oh my god, a Black Satana. That's awesome.
Yes.
I think, what was I running around in 2012? Oh, I was Biker Poison Ivy that year.
Oh,
yeah.
15 was the year I did Satana. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
If it was 15, then I was my Luna. I was running around
Ah,
as Luna that day.
good
Yeah.
stuff.
Were we there in 15?
Yeah.
That was our first one.
Ah.
Yes,
That
yes,
was
yes.
the first.
That was our first one. You got shut up.
In 15, I was,
That was
running
DC
around as
versus
my
Marvel.
Luna
And that's
the
then
time
Black
when the
Cat. If
second
you saw
round
Black Cat
Ooh.
running
got popular.
around.
That
Yes,
was
it
you.
did.
Did you guys go to the panel for the cosplayers where the guy had the seizure?
No.
No, I know what you're
But
talking
you,
about.
but we
I-
heard
I didn't
about
do
it.
That was me.
Okay.
No, I didn't have the seizure.
Oh,
I saved
I
his
was like,
life.
what?
Oh my
No,
god.
we didn't go to that. That was that.
We didn't,
go
right.
there,
No, I didn't. I was the one that literally, I'm in the front. All of a sudden, I hear, "Oh my God, he's having a seizure!" You see me jump up, full corset, full costume, wig, the whole nine,
Go for, like-
and just like get away. And I'm like, I saved his life. And then
That is
EMS showed up.
incredible. Like,
Yeah, that's my job. That's what I do.
yeah. So
But
like,
all the
awesome.
panel stopped.
Right.
And they were like, make room for the EMS guys to go in.
Right.
The whole nine.
It was a
so-
cosplay.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was. Yeah, it was
Yes.
with Ivy Doom, Kitty, and
Okay.
yes,
Right.
that panel. Yeah.
Awesome.
And since then, me and Kitty have been pretty.
She's like one of my cosplay inspos, but
I love
yes.
her.
I gotta
my
hit
jam.
quick. Continue with this.
Yes, I want to hear the stray. Why did this? Did he follow you around the whole con?
Oh Jesus. So
Oh,
again, we're in line waiting for this panel. Akiim, Kato's already in.
Just come in.
Fine. So, like, this group of Star Trek enthusiasts saw Jocelyn, and they were like gushing over because her, she looked amazing, like makeup the whole nine. And I'm just in the corner, like half dressed, like, okay, I'm just here by myself. You guys want to talk to me? All right. So I'm sitting there, and then I get a tap on my shoulder, and it's a guy. He's in a Green Arrow costume, mask and all. He was like, "Oh, excuse me. I hope you don't mind. Would you like take a picture with me?"
That's how
And
they
I was
start.
like, "Okay,
You might be
sure."
listening.
This is why we say cosplay is not consent. This is why we have been saying cosplay is not consent. But continue.
So it starts chill, like we're chatting, really casual, and Wukong and Jocelyn. I think I took the message wrong when they said I should be open to more people, because I'm single. I was like,
this guy she decided to be open to.
I didn't know. It wasn't till it wasn't till later where I was like, oh, I should rescind this.
Did he?
I thought that was someone at the sidewalk.
When you took the picture with him, did he inappropriately put his arm somewhere?
No, not
he
then.
wasn't- no.
It wasn't then.
He wasn't that bad.
So we're chatting, and he's like, "Oh, would you like to exchange numbers?" So I was like, "Okay, give it a whirl."
Oh.
And literally, as soon as my number hit his phone, so it got
Ring,
real
ring, ring.
weird. So he
was
started
asking to put the lotion on his skin.
literally
It puts the lotion on his
Jocelyn
skin.
says she actually considered changing her name to Mrs. Green Arrow for a bit.
lies and blasphemy. Lies and blasphemy.
Just be
So-
aware. Anytime somebody comments, I'm probably gonna interrupt you.
That's fine.
So.
So
Oh, and she wants you to tell them about the Gatorade.
I'm
Oh,
getting
she
to
went
Gatorade.
there.
Wait.
We have to finish.
Let's finish
Story
it.
one before we get to
Yes,
story
wait.
two.
Okay.
Please continue. This is getting good.
down.
We're talking about Silence of the Lambs right here. Continue the
I'm
Okay.
glad she brought it up because she was definitely going to skim
Arrow
over
of
it.
the Lambs. Arrow
Arrow
of the Lambs.
Yes.
Hashtag arrow of the
Hashtag
lambs.
Arrow of the Lambs.
So he's getting a little too comfortable. And mind you, this is like maybe a 10-minute span when, else has happened.
Oh dear.
And he's starting to get a little touchy, and he's starting to ask me some very personal questions about,
Sexual preference. Yes.
It was subliminal.
right.
You got fingers in your booty.
Like, hey, how
That's
do you feel
overt.
about tossing that salad, girl?
What?
No,
How you feel?
Exactly.
I got this thing with my tongue that I do.
Yes, it was a lot. I was like, oh, we just met. Like, hey, be easy. And I'm trying to tap Jocelyn, like, help me, help me.
We
Like
both
you were
looked
doing
at
the universal sign of girl play lesbian.
Right, I was like,
Okay, wait. In all fairness, Jocelyn and I looked at each other and looked at her, and we just like, nah, she on her own.
Oh, that's wrong. Oh, you tried to let her learn the hard way.
Whoa.
Fuck it.
Let's put it this way.
so,
You have to hold this one.
Sometimes you gotta kick a bird out the window. I mean, out the window, out of the tree to get her to learn how to fly.
You kicked her off a fucking cliff.
Wrong.
Well, here's the thing. If things got out of hand, then Arrow would have had his quiver somewhere.
gonna learn
But
today.
it was cool. It was cool. We didn't have to worry about that.
She be alright.
so we finally get into the panel. And, Kato saved us some seats. So I'm like, okay, this will be a time
Yeah, I
to,
wasn't
kind
expecting
of
the
Like
extra.
to
escape.
get away.
I wasn't
yeah.
expecting the
But
extra company.
He was on me like white on rice. He's like, oh, is there like a seat for me? And I was like, I don't know.
See, you're too nice. I would have been like, no.
So he some
Sorry, they only say.
Well, he was kind of harmless, but yeah.
Jocelyn says you alive, aren't you?
I'm like, thankfully, I'm alive. So there was next seat in the row, and I started getting just a tickle in my throat, like not like a.
It wasn't the Arrow. It wasn't the Arrow.
So I'm like, my throat got a little dry, but it wasn't anything to be like alarmed about.
Yes.
So he's like, I have this Gatorade. Which and
Don't do it.
he's like,
Don't do it.
Date rape.
Hold on, stop. Let her finish. This is getting
and
good. This is getting really
so
good.
he's like, wait a second.
This is
No,
when
like, is she-
this is when
what
Jocelyn and
color
I are
was the
looking at
Gatorade?
each other like, did
Was
she
it
just?
fizzing?
It was purple.
Hashtag no purple
You know,
gator.
nah, that's not. That's a black. That's
Purple
racist.
drink.
Right.
That's racist.
That's
That's
purple
that
drink.
racist shit. That's right.
Don't incriminate
Hashtag
yourself.
roofie Gatorade.
Don't incriminate yourself.
So I was like, oh,
She says hashtag thirsty as fuck.
yes. So I'm like, oh no, I'm good. It's just a tickle. I don't need anything. He's like, no, you should drink this. Meanwhile, Jocelyn actually is like, she's not, she was a little under the weather, so she was actually coughing. So she's thinking I was hiding a beverage from her.
Yeah.
And I was like tapping her, like, no, this is not what's going on. Help.
Yeah,
Stranger danger,
wait.
help.
I have to interrupt because this actually gets so this is where it gets
So
funny.
we're like, Rose, Rose,
Right, I was like,
Wait.
help.
Rick must have.
So this is where it gets really
Motherfucker,
hilarious.
woo.
It gets funnier?
Yeah, so Jocelyn and I are sitting on the opposite side, so we're not exactly sure what's going on. And Jocelyn not feeling well, so we see her with the Gatorade, and I'm like asking for a sip, and then all of a sudden she's like, no. I'm like, what the, you stingy, what the fuck?
No,
So
that's why I was like,
You're
no.
mad at her for not sharing the dick.
and then that's when it comes up.
Share the roofie Gatorade.
And then that's when
That's
it
why I was
comes
like,
up
no,
that
no.
she got it from the other guy, and we're both looking at her like, well, you're drinking it?
That's all I was like. He was like, drink this. I'm like,
Yeah.
Did you that?
I put it to. I was like, okay.
She put this lotion on her skin. Yes, she did.
I
put the lotion on her
did not ingest.
skin.
I did not ingest. I was like, okay.
I
I'm
did
good.
not inhale.
She did not
Like,
inhale,
I was
right?
like, I did not. And
So
then
like
the Clinton.
20 minutes later, you were feeling like, oh.
no, because I did not put anything
didn't drink
into
it.
my soul. So,
She never actually drank it.
right, I was like, this
That's good.
pretty much. It was just
The
You
wetting
tilt
of
it,
the
your
lips,
mouth
where
is
it's
closed,
just
but you
enough to give a
tilt it.
little moisture, but not enough to actually ingest it.
right. So that was an intense thing, and the whole time I was like, no, guys, like I almost died. Like,
And you're laughing.
I'm
You're at
like,
the side,
no.
just like, ha! Look
right,
at her
I was
trying
like
to
nudging them, like, help me,
nobody
please.
gave Everybody's like, you a stingy fuck. He gave you the Gatorade. Give me some.
That's not like
You ain't sharing the purple Gatorade.
And
What
it's
the
purple.
fuck?
They know we love purple.
So that's a classic.
He's shaking his head. He's like, yeah, that's true. I want some purple right now.
Yo,
So
if,
that's
if Crystal Pepsi was in purple,
Oh, shit.
We got some Sundays, some Moda, and we got some purple stuff.
So that was a classic Susan Kahn story.
I have to say, never drink purple aloe though. Never drink purple aloe.
Aloe?
Yeah, never drink purple grape aloe. Never
The
drink it.
little green bottle that
Yeah,
you
like
sell.
aloe. Never drink the green, the purple,
I
the
don't
grape
drink
aloe.
aloe to
I don't even know
begin
why
with.
there's a grape flavor.
So,
Yeah, it's
I'm
disgusting.
kind of angry
It's
that they
disgusting.
actually
So,
bothered to
like-
make a grape flavor.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, but I will never. Nah.
Aloe is delicious. Aloe is delicious. Granted, it's like little things. Never mind. I'm not gonna finish that sentence.
Oh yeah.
Did you
Little
have to
thing
change
tickle
your
your
phone
throat.
number?
I blocked him
Oh, okay.
because the next day, you know, he was like, "Where are you? What are you doing?"
Oh my God.
And I'm like, "My friend is
But did
sick."
you block him though?
I did, after a while.
No. Think about it for a second. Did you block him though?
After like
The
that,
following year.
not the following year, like literally, like
Was it the following or the year after you saw him again?
no,
Well, yeah,
like
yeah,
we didn't see him until this
Black.
past con when I sold my soul so you can go see Adam West.
Hey, it was worth it.
Rest in peace, Adam.
Rest in peace, Adam.
So
Cheers,
yeah,
Cheers,
so,
Adam.
like,
West. Clink, clink.
And it wasn't just Adam West. It wasn't just seeing Adam West. That was when we actually got to see the movie.
but that is the
cartoon
part
movie.
2 of the story. So fast
you for
forward to
that.
this con, yes, because you sold me out so you can go see this panel. So
It's Adam West.
with all of the new New York Comic Con rules and all the ticketing and things of that nature,
Wait.
we didn't realize
Clearly,
that.
it should be. There's a reason for it. For all
She
that
goes,
Right.
we just knew he was going to make a skin suit out of her. Hashtag silence of the cosplayer.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal
I
hashtag.
love it.
Thanks,
That's the name of the fucking
Cosplay.
episode.
That's true.
That's the name of the fucking
It's
episode.
not the name of the
Silence
episode.
of the Cosplayers.
Who wrote that? Who wrote that?
That was Jocelyn.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
And you got a standing ovation for Mr.
Yes.
So Smooth.
Fucking love it.
Yes.
That was smooth.
So with the new rules of having to have passes to go to certain panels,
Bullshit.
we, didn't realize what was going on with the new process. So he wanted to go see, the whole Batman 66 animated movie, which I was excited we got to see it.
Oh, that was awesome.
And so I'm trying to finesse the security guard, like, oh, tickets.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. What do you mean? I think I have it.
She
And
didn't have
so-
to try. That outfit got us in. As it does every year. Just
I was
saying.
very casual that day, so I was in the purple dress.
Casual.
It was casual.
Casual for you is like a stripper's evening wear.
Guys.
Oh my
Excuse
God.
me. I'm like, excuse me.
I'm just saying. I mean, granted,
That's
it's
I'm
for.
not talking anymore.
I mean, I get it. I get it. The cause is for cosplay, but I mean,
So now my mother's gonna really rip you a new one when she hears this.
whatever.
We apologize to Mama.
Whatever.
We had the second rounds of us.
So
We had the same house tonight.
Blame it on the aloe.
I love this. Continue.
Blame it on the aloe.
yes. blame it on the aloe. Hashtag blame it on the aloe. So
You got
I'm
a lot of
again
great hashtags tonight
trying to
already.
finesse the security guard, like to like slip through.
You can drink it.
Yeah.
He's fucked up tonight. They got him now. It's like, what?
So trying to talk to security guard.
I've been in like how many years?
Her talk.
So I'm talking to security guard, and I don't see from in the distance someone coming toward us
So are
because
you.
I'm trying to focus on just getting us
wait,
in.
did you hear? Dun it, dun it,
No.
Oh,
And then
dun
like,
dun it.
and then I look
Ironically, I
for
did tell my spider sense was tingling.
the and
Show that too, right, Jay?
Smoke?
oh no. So
No, we're good.
okay. So I'm, next thing I know, I hear it's like, hey, how you doing? And I look up and over, and it's Green Arrow. And I was
He's dressed up
like,
as Green Arrow
Still?
again?
Oh.
he wasn't dressed. He was like in civilian gear.
Oh,
So
Oliver Queen. Oliver Queen.
He was
Yes.
Oliver Queen.
Oliver Queen.
and I'm like looking, I'm like, hey,
not to
fella.
be confused with our Oliver Queen.
No, yeah.
Not
Yeah.
to be confused with our Oliver Queen.
No, he's Oliver Quit.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Billy knows.
So
Billy.
Hashtag Billy knows.
Hashtag cheesy
Billy.
taco.
Hashtag nose herpes.
Nose herpes.
no.
What are you doing?
That's not nice. You're the one with the herpes.
No.
Oh
He
no.
doesn't.
We'll
He does not.
explain
He
that
does
after
not.
you're done with your
Yeah.
story.
Okay.
I do not
So
have herpes,
creepy pasta
Billy.
comes up to you again.
Yes. And like, this one's just like, trying to, get in. And then old boy is like, oh, they're with me to the security guard. And
I
was like, I
And
thought
I'm
that's
like-
what that
No,
was.
you
I'm
did.
like,
No, you didn't.
No. And-
Yes, I did.
Yes, he was like, yep, yes, we are.
No,
I was like,
what she did, wait. No, wait. What she didn't tell you was that he was in the front of the line. So, of course, I was like, yes, we did. He was at the front of the
sold
line.
me out.
So much. Was it
You
worth it?
sold her out for a panel.
Whoa. You asking me if it was worth it to see Adam West at
You
the,
know
at
they
the
stream
66 Batman
They
panel?
stream it
I would
for
do the
free.
same exact thing,
Okay.
bro. I did the same exact thing,
And
bro.
rest in peace, he just passed?
It
You think it
did.
wasn't?
All right,
Wouldn't you have done the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to the front of the panel. Don't talk to the guy
I would have been
afterwards.
like, sir.
Don't
we are
drink anything from
best
him.
friends.
Don't drink anything from him. We can
All
not
right.
talk after
The
the
only
panel.
way I
We're
would
good.
do it is if it was to see Black Panther.
Okay.
Then, all right, I need it. It has to be.
thing.
Well, I
And
mean, look. Here's the
Adam
thing.
West is
Here's the
worth
thing. Okay. I paid her back because we went to go see the Deadpool, the premiere, and we stood in the cold line. I was warm. She wasn't, unfortunately. But
That was early. That was before New York
But didn't you
Comic-Con.
get an autograph?
No.
Oh.
I'm just like,
Did you get an autograph?
I did.
No.
Wait a minute.
I ain't getting no autograph with Ryan Reynolds. What you talking
like,
about?
wait a
I'm
minute.
not Ryan Reynolds.
I thought you were right behind me.
Wow.
What'd you get?
I got Ryan Reynolds and Francis's.
You better give her one.
No,
It's
it's
too
Okay.
late.
They're
It's
both on the same popcorn bag.
Nope,
Yes.
That's staying with him.
No, I was on the sidelines just like, help. And that's, talking about creepy pasta, that's a whole other separate story. Like, I have stories for days, but
Yeah.
focus like on this one.
The dark side
So,
of Comic-Con.
Quite literally.
Dark
literally.
Comic-Con confessions.
Quite
So,
literally.
he, sold my soul for Adam West.
Hey.
And so we're standing in line. And I think because
Yes.
Panels had
Let's
to be
get
seen
this
that
clear.
day.
He did.
Panels had to be
That's what
seen that day.
happened.
the running joke between him and Jocelyn is that they like to use me as currency.
Look
So
how strong she is now, though.
What the fuck are you, a Sacagawea? What the fuck?
Look, it didn't kill her; it just made her stronger. And she learned her lesson now. Now she has.
Matt. I killed Matt.
No. But see, she learned her lesson now. Now she doesn't take Gatorade from strangers.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
just Gatorade.
But it was at that moment she realized.
Well, we don't know what
Gatorade
else
from
she's taking,
strangers
so.
is not a good thing. It was at that moment.
Jocelyn says you spend better than MasterCard.
This October, watch your
Cha-ching!
back. Trust no one.
well, like,
Trust no one.
I feel like every cosplay girl, especially if
He's still on Sacagawea.
Malami's gone.
I can't. Really?
that was hilarious, though, admittedly. Oh my gosh. I feel like every cosplay girl who, if you show a little bit of excessive skin, you get a certain amount of. Oh, okay, just me. All right.
No. I'm
A
saying.
little
She's waiting for the cosign.
No, Susan, I'm
A
saying,
little bit.
Right.
The Phoenix outfit that I wear literally is here.
Right.
There's an entire bodysuit. So every single part of my skin is covered except for my face and my hair.
Okay.
Right.
And I'm still getting fucking annoyed by people. So
Right,
it's
that's
like,
like
Okay.
cosplay girls in
Really?
general just get a
that's
lot
why
of.
cosplay is not consent.
Exactly.
However, I mean,
Shut up about the boobs.
Your boobs
Don't even go there.
But your boobs got us a nice little vote for Tommy Dreamer, though.
That is true. All right, I'm sorry.
ECW.
Wait a minute, did we do
ECW.
that? Did we use Jade?
Yeah.
Yes. See, are you kidding me? We go. She goes, okay,
Cha-ching.
I'm gonna
Jade,
try to
go
get.
talk
she
to
goes,
him.
So this is
Oh
how we
my
planned
God.
out. She goes, okay, I'm gonna go talk to Tommy Dreamer and see if I can get him on the show. And then literally 2 minutes later, she's like, oh my God, no, literally, yes. We love you, and Fernando's just like,
But you,
You know
guys
what?
don't, what
and then
everybody
she
doesn't
goes like
realize
this
is
and waves us over, and we're like, oh my God.
But you know what? Karma got us in the end because we couldn't even use that footage because we couldn't hear him. See, that's what
that
we
was
did.
Fernando's
God
fault.
don't like ugly.
Fernando
I think
did
Fernando
that.
did that on purpose.
Fernando did that shit bitterly.
Yeah, he did that on purpose, like you.
The Tommy Dreamer was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
Because he shocked me because he actually called me over because he liked the Wukong costume.
Yeah.
He shocked the
that
hell
was
out of
you.
me. Yeah.
You.
that
Oh
was-
my God! I got pictures of you from Eternal Con. Yay!
Good.
Oh,
I did you.
we interviewed him.
I wasn't there for that. I was
Right,
I
we
was
missed
the
her.
Wonder Woman bunny that was running around.
Right.
You were the Wonder Woman
Yes.
buddy?
I was the Wonder Woman bunny. That's
I
why
apologize for
everybody...
the comments I made.
What? You
Oh.
made comments?
Yes.
Was it bad?
Of course not.
Okay.
I got ready to move over.
What did you
Hold on a
say?
Here
second.
it comes.
I only
What
apologize
did
because I thought
you
you heard
say?
me.
This was about to turn into a
Yeah.
MTV
No,
reality
no,
show.
no, because I'm still not used to actually people responding to that kind of cosplay because I never show that much skin. Honestly, I
Right.
really don't. Everybody's like, oh, you use your tits. My tits are usually the only thing that show because they never fit in anything.
Why are you looking at me like this?
I don't know, Zatanna. Why am I looking at you like that?
But like in all honesty, that
Silk
cosplay
Spectre.
was really risky for me because
I'm 5% Soul Spectre.
no, in every single cosplay I've ever done, I don't show my legs. I don't.
Okay.
So this was the first time I've ever done a cosplay where my legs were actually showing.
Right.
So everybody was like, "But you look good." No, I don't. Yes, you do. No, I don't. Yes, you do. Yeah, no, I don't. So
Just out of your usual
I was
box.
out of my comfort zone,
Right.
and it kind of showed in some of the photographs. Like, I'm sure when you take professional photos, like, people obviously stop you and they say, "Let me take a photo." Do you have a signature pose?
It depends.
Let her speak. Let her speak.
Oh no, I'm
Let her
asking
speak.
both of you. Like, you guys have a signature pose.
Don't let me get on you. Like,
You go first.
Like,
it depends
obviously-
on the character. Like, I guess what I'm known for is my Miss Piggy. So that's kind of like my signature jam. So it's usually very like, either I do like karate chops, like kind of cute, or extra like super glam.
Or the pout.
Pig, yes, or like the
Yeah.
the Kermit.
Yeah.
So like it depends.
Kermit,
Yes. So it depends on the character, definitely. So
But like, if you find yourself actually just, oh, can I take a quick picture? Do you find yourself falling into that quick?
Yes.
meh, you know.
pretty much like it
I
just
did
kind
take your
of.
photos.
Yes.
Okay. No. Yeah. Because like, I find myself falling into a signature pose no matter the character.
Ah.
Especially if they catch
Yes, she
me.
does.
Like, oh, let me take a picture.
Yes, she does.
You know, like,
Right.
She always puts that one hand on the hip like a teapot.
well, you kind of have to.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like
No,
that, you know.
I think it's a female.
Yeah.
It's gotta go. It's gotta go. Hand on the hip, but the ass gotta go
No,
out.
no, no. It's like this. It's
Don't
like
go
this.
out, it ain't
Oh my God.
working.
Okay, let me know when
Yeah.
you're about to take the picture. You ready? You ready?
Bang.
It's always that.
Not
It's
the
a,
same.
It's the-
you got it
See,
right.
now here's where
The
I'm gonna
back
go.
end.
Yeah, here's where I'm gonna go.
My
male
butt looks
versus
really good in
female
that picture.
cosplayer.
No comment.
Males can strike any pose they want when they're in cosplay.
Any action
it's a
pose.
Not
Any
really.
pose.
Not really.
But females, because a lot of the times our costumes are very binding,
Yes.
or they're very like if we move a certain way, certain things are gonna show.
Right.
We have to strike certain poses to get those lines.
Exactly.
So
Make
that
sure
way you be
everything
like,
is.
hey.
Yeah, so the
in
pictures look
picture,
popping.
and not like, hey.
Right. Like.
Hello, how are you? I'm a marmot, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta do based
Got a
on what you
marmot.
have.
Yeah, you got, but like, what is your favorite cosplays?
Oh man, I would have to say Piggy. Piggy's definitely my fave.
But, and yours obviously is Kano?
No, Son Wukong.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Your ultimate favorite cosplay to do?
It better be Son Wukong. The amount of work you put into that.
Right.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'll be honest with you. My favorite is Sun Wukong because of the fact that I love the character and I like making different versions of that character, especially since very few people know who he is. And like now, he's like really blown up. He's got like 2 movies now on Netflix.
There's a video
And
game
not to
about him.
mention
Yeah,
the
there's
one
like
where
several
Jet
video
Li-
games.
Smite.
Jet Li
Yeah.
and Jackie
I
Chan
love
got
that.
together.
He's
That
been
was-
in several video games.
He's
which-
based.
yeah.
He's what Goku
So-
was based off.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And then you guys watched that movie with Jet Li,
Yeah,
Right,
when I-
Forbidden Kingdom.
The
Right.
Forbidden Kingdom.
So, and then there was a movie that just came out recently, which I saw in the theaters, called Tales of Wukong, which is
Yeah.
actually really good. But ironically, even though as much as I love doing some Wukong, and I only did Deadpool once, I think I have the most fun as Deadpool
get
because
away
I can
with
actually
more.
be myself. Now, there's something I have to clear up, okay? I think that sometimes...
Billy's watching and he says you need to hear cheesy taco.
Okay. So, so the,
Don't ask.
We will explain.
No, don't
Off
explain.
air.
Don't you dare explain.
Okay.
Off air.
I'm just
Got
getting
it.
over it, Billy. I miss you.
Okay,
What the
so
fuck?
there's something I need to clear up. I think that a lot of Deadpool cosplayers get a bad rap, and the reason why is because you have some fans that read the comics and think that just being an asshole is being Deadpool, and it's really not. Being a perverted asshole is being Deadpool, and it's not. And you got them going a little too far and just being rude and disrespectful. Now, me being a Deadpool fan because I relate a lot to the character. Based on the fact that I relate a lot to the character, being he's a martial artist, he pretty much speaks his own mind, and he just doesn't give a fuck. And it's kind of how like I became as I got older. I really appreciate the character a lot. And ironically, I didn't even like Deadpool at first. I was like, I'm not gonna fall into the whole popular type thing. I was
Yeah.
kind of like, jaded on him.
But did you see there's a reason though why he's
Well,
so...
ironically,
See,
when
your
I
reasoning is sound because honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was describing that big crowd of Deadpools
Yeah.
at a bunch, they have an actual Deadpool meetup at almost every single New York.
and I know who they are. Yeah.
And at every single New York Comic Con, they're assholes.
Yeah.
Honest to God, like you'll be trying to do a shoot, and they'll be like, "Yeah!" inside the middle of the shoot, and it's like,
Right.
really, dude? Like I'm
Yeah.
paying for this in
Right.
a lot of ways, because a lot of the photographers that come there, you book them beforehand.
Right.
So, like, I get it. I completely understand where you're coming from, and I actually
Right.
love your reasoning.
Right, and the problem is like you said, like when they try to photobomb you, they try to do with what a famous Deadpool named P. Diddy does. What they don't realize is P. Diddy gets their permission first, and then he films his footage because it's his own thing, and that's why a lot of guys are doing what he's doing because they think that he's doing it and he's being cool, but they don't realize he's actually went to these people, asked them their permission, and then films his little skits, and that's pretty much what they're seeing, and they just decided to jump in and do it. Like I said, I had a lot of fun. There was a couple of things that I did that I didn't realize was wrong etiquette at first, but ironically, they were kind of cool. Like one girl was dressed as Harley Quinn, and I went up and I said, "Oh my God, can I touch it?" And I grabbed a gun and walked away. Yeah, exactly. And I walked
I'm
away.
thinking something else. Like,
Yeah, so I grabbed a gun and
That was
walked
actually-
away.
that's hilarious,
And she
though.
played along with it, which
yeah,
was
that's
cool.
hilarious.
Right.
So, but yeah,
They wish she was cool. If she wasn't, it could have been a
Right,
thing.
so, but then as I started cosplaying more, I realized that you have to be a little bit more polite and ask people if they mind. If you just say, I mean, some people, they play along, they get it, and then some people, what you touching my stuff for, man? Like,
Right. They get very...
One of our guys, Billy, we actually did interview him a couple of episodes back. He's saying that he can't hear you very well.
Can't hear me? Okay.
Yeah, so he's just asking if we could
So
speak up
let me
a little
speak.
more.
Let me speak closer to the mic. Is this better?
Well, that mic, my mic.
Oh, your mic.
My mic.
Okay, so I'm moving.
Projects.
Oh, okay, you got us working now.
Yeah, I got us to work now.
Cool.
We've been live for a
That's
while.
what
We actually got
Dawson's
most
been
of the
seeing us
interview.
on.
Okay.
But okay, so now here's the thing. I'm about to get real.
Okay.
All right, I'm about to break it down.
Break it.
For reals.
Now,
For
cosplay itself is a subculture. So automatically, most subcultures you would think would not have issues because we already have the issue being a subculture.
Right.
Right.
What have you experienced as Blaq cosplayers doing characters that are not traditionally black?
Which
Have
is,
you received a lot of clapback?
especially a lot of the characters I do aren't traditionally black, like Zatanna, Starfire, Sally Jupiter, most
Well, actually,
recently.
Starfire,
Star-
yeah.
I like to think of her as a
line.
light-skinned girl, like
Yeah, no,
I
she's
kind of
like
think
a
She's
red
her-
orange.
right?
She's a
So,
red
like,
bone. Nice.
yes, shade, yes.
Oh, I
so,
know. You don't work in Harlem for 10 years and not learn the shit.
Yes.
All right?
She's about three
Harlem is
shades.
not the standard anymore.
She's
I'm
like
sorry.
three
It
shades.
used to be 10 years ago.
I think she's like what three shades oranger than Trump.
don't Ever.
We don't talk about 45 on this
Nah,
show.
Okay.
Number 45
Number 45 is Ixnay on
obsolete.
this show.
Okay.
We are living in a purgatory world right now.
Yeah, we're
where
just
Right.
waiting for it.
So I
Just
was like,
waiting.
nah.
But like,
Got it.
have you ever like? And the thing is like I've gotten caught back just from dressing a certain way as
Right.
a certain character. Have you ever had people come up to you and be like, "Why are you wearing that?"
Thankfully, surprisingly, no.
Not to your face.
Not to my face.
Not to your face.
Exactly.
But nobody's ever left any type of negative comment on any of your pages about it.
Well, I'm also a pinup model, so in that world, I've gotten maybe one openly negative comment. Was actually
Sorry.
from.
okay.
It wasn't yours. It was actually from another African American male, and he
Hater.
Yeah, it was really odd. He said, like, I had my little, like, cute, like, my little makeup gun, 'cause I'm also a makeup artist, so I wanted to incorporate that in this particular shoot. And so this, child, and he was a child.
They usually are.
Yes.
Hey,
And, oh, hey, kids.
Children's.
there he is.
Oh,
Children's.
yes. I'm going to get you later. Bye.
Wait, don't call
That's what got you in trouble last time.
No. So he
So he
said
actually openly came at you, like about how you look.
he did. He was like, oh, she looks like she's brought to like fry some chicken up in her kitchen.
Oh,
And I'm
no Popeye reference.
Right. I was like, sir.
Fuckers.
And then he tagged his
from the
white
black
friend to it, and then his white friend said something about like Aunt Jemima, something ridiculous.
That's right there.
They can't hear you.
Oh,
That was
sorry,
that was
y'all.
an Uncle Tom right there. No offense,
Yes.
Tom.
So
Sorry, Matt. We're getting up close
Good
and
Tom,
personal.
but I'm calling it
Getting
Ryan Uncle
close.
Tom.
So
Tom.
in that world,
Shut up,
I've gotten
Tom.
some a little bit of
Yeah.
clapback, but surprisingly, as far as cosplay goes, again, not to my face, not that I've encountered. So it's a kind of a blessing.
Okay, so for me, this is where it gets tricky. I've never really had that problem because I'm always wearing a mask. As Monkey King, I'm wearing a mask. And the funny thing is, I have two masks. One you didn't see, and it's it's realistic. It's a silicone mask.
Oh, nice.
So this one I actually paid a lot of money for. So basically, I dressed up one year as a created character, so to speak.
Oh, nice.
And if some people are familiar with Monkey King, they know that Goku was based on this character.
Yes.
So, and one of the movies is called Battle of the Gods, and there's a story of the very first original Super Saiyajin God. You only see a silhouette of him, but you never see what he looks like. So what I did was, I decided to take this idea where I made Monkey King the actual Super Saiyan God.
Is that the one where you had the black spikes?
Yeah, that's the one I actually
I
have.
didn't see that one. That's
Well,
it.
actually
That was,
have
I
the,
figured that was
So I did that. Now, what I do is, for most part, when I do the cosplays, I try to get makeup that matches my own complexion. So that way, it blends in. Like with that mask, it's the same texture as my face. I also have a Freddy. Oh, okay. So like I said, basically.
Really talk up over the train.
Sorry.
Train.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So basically.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine. So basically, like what I was saying
And you're
was that.
blocking my face.
Oh.
She said, "Nigga, my face, nigga."
No one's looking at your face. It's the boobs. Ooh.
This is my life, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all in love. Anyway,
So
going
you get
back.
the makeup to blend in with your
Yeah,
skin
I usually
tone,
get
which
makeup
is
to blend-
actually prudent because
So-
honestly, a lot of cosplayers don't do that.
And which is funny because I also did I have a Freddy Krueger mask made by Darkrai. Everyone who knows about Freddy
that's a
knows
good
Darkrai.
one.
So he has a Nightmare on Elm Street 1 mask where it's supposed to be after the scene where he's on fire.
Yeah.
So I had him make that
So
one.
the
So
open sword.
right with the open swords.
And the
And
rich skin
right,
coming out.
and therefore, and it's dark, so this way it fit the same complexion I have.
Right.
So that's what I pretty much do. So I've never really had any backlash. The funny thing is, when I first told people that I was going to do Monkey King, I had a friend of mine ask me, was that a smart idea because of like the whole black people being associated with apes.
Oh, come
No. Here's the thing. I will say that in all fairness, I understood where he was coming from. Because at the time, like I said, no one knew who Monkey King was. Like my very first Monkey King, a lot of people confused me with Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
And I will admit that the first one wasn't very Asian oriented.
Well, you learn as
right.
you
So
go
as I
along.
did it,
Cosplay puberty.
right. So as people who've seen my cosplay, they see that I've made different changes and I made it look closer and closer.
Yeah, I mean, I did that with Cammy. There's 3 versions of my Cammy.
Right.
Right.
So.
Yeah, so
And I actually have one, which is a complete copy from the '86 original Chinese TV series.
Very nice.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. I love it when things are actually like as close to the authentic as you can get.
Oh, this is
Right.
this is
That's
extremely
hot.
close.
Like I will say, like he's like my bro. So like we mess with each other all the time. But he's put so much work into his Wukong costume, and it's incredible. So seeing his progression is really awesome. So kudos.
Thank you.
And
He doesn't watch. He listens.
in terms of going back to Piggy, like I've gone through a series of paint situation with my Piggy, trying to really get the flesh tone correct. So, and thankfully I haven't gotten pushback from that, 'cause I guess because since Piggy is a puppet, no one really gets up in arms about the paint job.
No, because there already is an arm inside the puppet.
Exactly.
You don't care to cover it
Miss
on.
Piggy's
Right.
real. She's real in my heart.
I have a confession to make. I remember as a little kid, my very first, I'll say, attraction.
Don't say Muppet Babies or
No,
Muppets Take
no.
Manhattan.
I'm going to say not even.
Don't
Not
say
Muppet, even though
Muppets Take Manhattan.
I'm actually not even because I'm old. I'm old, so I'm talking about like the very first Muppet movie.
Yeah, you mad
Oh,
old.
I love that movie.
But no, like my first attraction, I could actually say to like the female form, as weird as it's going to sound, was Miss Piggy on the
Muppet
on the
Show.
Muppet Show, because she was the only Muppet that had breasts, and they actually made them smaller over time.
That's true.
And in the movie, she actually escapes like the bad guy, or she breaks into the bad guy's house
Yes, and Great
by
Muppet
using her
Caper.
breasts to open up the gate.
Great Muppet Caper is my all-time
one.
favorite
So,
Muppet
yes.
movie.
So she was my first attraction to the female body.
Interestingly, I do like, especially at WinterCon, I got a lot of numbers as Miss Piggy. It was real strange. They were like, "I want to take you out to dinner and lunch," and I'm like,
It wasn't
"You can't.
strange.
I could be."
To get the fabulous baseball diamond.
That's what you need to add.
Yes,
You
I
need to get your
well,
baseball diamond.
when I
She
finally
had the
do Great
baseball
Muppet
diamond.
Caper Silver Jumpsuit Piggy, that's gonna be a thing. Like, that's
You know what?
Awesome. And the motorcycle.
Why don't you do a Miss Piggy matchup with Dragon
just
Ball?
said pork the other
Other
way.
way. She was there. She was like, but it's always funny. It's like I could be a beast under this makeup. And you're like, I want to take you out to dinner. Here's my card.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
They're gonna ask you to keep
Okay.
that.
They're like, you do not have to take this off.
No, they're gonna tell you to keep it on.
Yeah.
Like, you can't change.
No,
Miss
I won't.
Piggy. Miss Piggy.
I will wear the green mask, and we will do this.
So my whole thing is, you guys have obviously, you're probably around my age too. You guys have been cosplaying for a while. You guys have obviously evolved your cosplays over time. Is there any ultimate cosplay that you would do if you had no money? Like, if you had no limit on anything,
Wow,
like if you
just-
had the ability to just go out there and get whatever the hell you wanted, what would that cosplay be and why?
I actually have a list of cosplays that I want to do.
The Great Muppet Keeper.
Well, obviously.
But that's like,
easy.
that's
That's
up there,
that's
right?
yeah.
That's
I'm
outside
talking like
from that.
one that you have never done, but
No
you've always
limits,
been like,
no
that is
restrictions.
your golden goose. That is the one that you want.
goose.
Yes. Like that is the one. Like if you had any amount, like no budget, no nothing, anything comes your way, everything.
There are two actually.
Okay.
One, I'm not sure if your audience is familiar with Monster High.
You'd be surprised.
Okay, so there
Claudine?
is
Is it
not Claudine.
Really?
Rebecca Steam, which
Oh,
is
I love her.
yeah, so
Looking her
like
up right now.
super like
Oh, you got it?
you're showing pictures.
Sorry.
Okay. So Rebecca Steam, because I feel like that makeup job would be so incredible
Oh,
to do.
yeah.
Like all the bolts and
Oh,
the gold. I feel like
the
that would be
little
sick.
gears.
All
Oh,
the
yeah.
steampunk. So I feel like that's one. And then just for kicks, because I'm a huge fan, I'd have to do a Jessica Rabbit of some sort.
Yes. Oh my
Like,
God. I
fellow
I
redhead.
totally think you should do that.
It's on the horizon. I have
love
an
Jessica
idea.
Hakeem, what about you?
Wait, can I
Patty cake, patty cake,
Wait, can I
patty
just say
cake.
something? Because he was saying about Miss Piggy. Well, my first
Yes.
was Jessica Rabbit.
Like,
And honestly, I thought Patty Cake was just playing Patty Cake.
No.
Patty Cake was a
Euphemism.
Good time, man. And you know
A real
what?
good
I like it.
time.
I read the book.
Now
It's great.
your
So-
golden goose cosplay.
Okay, so this is kind of weird and tricky for me because I'm still trying to get out of that whole in a way, I'm trying to get out of the Wukong thing, only because I think part of the reason I keep doing it and different versions
He's
of
so good at it.
is because of the, huh?
That's his signature. That's
Well, yeah. I mean, it's become my signature, and I kind of wanted to make it my signature at first, but now it's like, okay, what else I want to do? But the thing is, it's like I think because I never really did the one that I wanted to do, and I came real close. Like I actually went to Chinatown in the costume, and it wasn't completely done where it was functional, but I did attempt it. So that was probably the closest I came to it. But now I'm still trying to figure out what the holy grail cosplay will be for me. I haven't quite figured it out yet. I do know that one of the things I want to do, I want to incorporate more props, I guess.
Okay.
Like I actually want to be able to get like some type of Nimbus cloud to go with it.
We've discussed
So
this.
I definitely want to try to get some type of Nimbus cloud to go with it. Somehow to get like an actual extending pole. If I ever do the Dragon Ball one again, if I could find a way to like make my body glow or something,
I can help you
or
with
something
that.
like that.
I can actually help you with that. I know how to make props.
Okay.
Oh, good
I'm actually very good at making
wait, you
props.
can make people
Awesome.
glow?
I actually do know the
Can you make me glow? 'Cause
You
I wanna
glow
be
already,
glow.
white boy.
I want to be glow.
So
The white stick says the white girl.
I know. I'm whiter than you.
I know, right? I'm doing pretty good with the tan.
No, I actually
White
do
girl.
glow. I actually do glow in this light. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So-
But
Okay.
actually, I can help you with a Nimbus cloud.
Yes.
I can help you. Trust me. A lot of people have been asking me for my props lately
Awesome.
because they're on point.
Okay.
And I'm
This is
obsessive.
exciting.
I'm obsessive. I won't stop.
Oh,
until
you
it's
sound like me.
perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah.
So okay, so here's the other thing that I actually really want to do, and it's going to sound weird because it's still kind of downplaying. Until I really find something that I want to do that I will call my Holy Grail, there's this one guy who did a Deadpool, and he did like with armor, and it looked like something like a play arts figure. If you're familiar with toys.
I know that figure.
Yeah, so if you're familiar with that, he did something that looks like a play arts figure, and it was so sick. Him and I are friends, and I'm still trying to
He
get him
made
to
it
sell
out
a
of
custom.
Warbla?
I think so.
It was Warbla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still learning Warblas, but it's actually not hard
Yeah.
to do.
Cosplay talk, baby.
So-
It's not
Yes.
hard to do,
don't
honestly.
know.
If you have the time and the patience, Warbla is not hard to do.
I
Okay.
am.
Yeah, can you
It's a
explain?
video.
Harry
Yeah,
Potter.
like
Warbler.
No.
the Warbler.
It's like
Warbla
Ava
is-
foam.
Yes,
It's
it's
a
a-
special type of foam
Yes.
that you can literally turn into anything.
Yeah, it's like Ava foam.
It's kind
Which-
of what?
It's
Foam?
foam.
Yeah.
Foam.
For like cosplay, like armor and stuff.
All right, so you see how you have like a lot of people that do cosplay with like World of
World of Warcraft.
and stuff like that. That's not armor. That's actually
That's-
foam.
It's foam that they incorporate
yeah.
with plastic pieces to keep it stiff.
And then
Yeah.
also the paint job also helps really bring it to
Right.
life.
Yeah.
Like when I
So-
finally, get brave enough
For
to
example,
do like a
when we
legit
saw the Halo
Starfire,
guys.
I definitely want to do the armor.
Actually, I
and
can
the
show you
wall.
something.
That's
Like I
probably
think
what they use.
that would be hot.
I could
But-
probably help you with
I did something
I'm
similar
not
to that.
great with
so-
Warbler yet, but
All right.
I'm practicing.
Hey, that's
But-
good enough for me.
I just learned what Warbler is, so I'm pretty happy. Can you get it on Amazon?
Yeah, you probably can. You probably can.
So
Now
I-
he's gonna be running around all day in a bathrobe in his Nimbus cloud.
Hashtag new roommate.
She's right though.
So I have a question now. You guys have been around since '08, like before
Yeah.
the mainstream hit. So I wanted to know, how do you feel about
Show the armor.
that the whole cosplay and Comic-Con era going from the subculture, as you said, like nobody knowing, just where you had actually walking space at the
It
con.
was incredible.
Yeah,
We could do
like-
cartwheels.
I miss
Yeah.
that. I
It
miss
was
that.
wonderful.
compared to now, where you literally have to follow a train of people just to, like, you see when we try to, like, how do you feel
Right.
about that? The mainstream,
It's-
now it's out in the open.
it's literally
Everyone
a-
could let their free Comic-Con flag fly.
Well, I feel like it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. It's awesome that more people are starting to, be open to geek culture and, be curious about it and really be like, oh, okay, I do enjoy these things as well, and it's quote-unquote okay to express that. So, like, that's exciting. On the other side, it gets a little hard because I feel like sometimes there are a lot of looky-loos who are just like, what
Can I get your
this?
picture? Can I get your
Everybody
picture?
was like, what's that? Oh my God.
Did you
That's
make
so
that?
weird. What's going on? So it's like, I feel like, all right, if you're going to come into the sanctum,
That would be us. We're the ones that say, can we get a picture?
Well,
Yeah, and
By
but we
the
do it for a
way,
reason. Yeah.
Did you know that we're on the second round?
Yeah, we do it for a reason. We're not
That's
just there.
fine.
We're more slick.
Like,
Hey, JP.
right. Like, that's chill. Like, we
JP, August 19th, you better be there, son.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at the computer? He's right there.
Son, you better be there, my dude.
Don't talk to
Well,
him
like,
because
we're
it's
totally, like, if you want to take a picture, we're like, yeah, sure, like, come through. But it's like the other
But
folks
then
who
when
were
one
like,
person starts taking a photograph, all of a sudden it's like 15 other people, and you're like, where do I look? Where do I look? Oh my god, I just
That
want to
gets-
go to my con. Let
and
me
then,
enjoy my
like,
panels.
I'm just like, I'm sorry, like, trying to, make sure everybody's happy. Because it's like, it's fun. It's like, oh, thank you for appreciating the time we put into the full shebang. Why are you making the sound at me?
No, go ahead.
I relate because honestly, if I do like my Wonder Woman bunny, I could not walk more than 5 feet without somebody.
Train!
Cheers to train!
Woo!
Yay!
Cheers to train.
Clink, clink,
Fuck
clink,
the
clink,
train.
clink.
Clickety
Game
clink.
on,
Clickety clink.
game
Game
on.
on. No, in the Wonder Woman costume, honestly, I could not walk more than 5 feet. But like, oh my god, can I take a picture of you? And plus, I was
Right.
with all my other bunnies.
Right.
So everybody's like, let's get a group photo. And I'm like, really? Can I have things to do. I am busy.
And it gets awkward because like you don't want to be mean and say no pictures, but it's like, but wait, like I gotta pee, like something like that. So like it's a little bit of double-edged sword because it's like sometimes you can tell like
Okay.
who goes to
Oh,
the
the-
cons, who are like legitimately like
Fans at a con.
fans and into the culture, and then there's everybody else who's like, oh, this is the new hot ticket. I just want to go and
There's
be
a
seen.
lot like, especially in
Well, right.
cosplay, where we've had that experience with cosplayers where they
Right.
act like I'm just here to just be
Me.
the shit. Like remember when I went to
we've
get
seen that.
Black Panther and Storm.
Oh, Storm, yeah.
Last night, and JP was there. He'll attest. He had to warn us like, look, you could go to him. If you get a picture, that's good, but they probably won't want to, because we want to use them for the challenge. and
Right.
They're like, they'll probably act a certain way. So I was like,
Oh.
I didn't know that was new. I'm naive. I'm like, oh,
'Cause
why
there's
would
some
they act
people
like
out
that?
There are
that
some
only
cosplayers
care
that do
about
that.
just a nice little like,
Yeah.
maybe a little photo, but in the long run, if you really discuss the actual,
Who they're dressed as,
Yeah.
they're
Right.
like, I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen that
Oh,
before.
I hate
And that
I
makes
hate
me a
that.
little sad because, especially for me, when going into this kind of cosplay world, I know me and Jocelyn would discuss a lot. Like, we want to make sure that we're doing everything justice,
Yes.
not that we're just going into things blindly. Like, oh, we just want to look
You
cute.
have an idea of what the person,
Yeah,
who the
you-
cosplay,
Right.
I keep saying cosplay, who the actual character is.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
Like, a little bit of at least a backstory to it. Like, I mean, when I did me and him did the NWO last year.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
If you start talking to us about the NWO, we're
know
going
what
to be
you-
like, you fuck yeah. That's
Right.
People just walking around.
Right.
Yeah, remember you
Literally
walked
on
out.
the
Yeah.
other side of
Yeah.
the con going,
Yes.
too sweet. And we're like, yeah.
I got my
Yes.
2-year-old son walking around, too sweet. And you're just like, yeah, like, it works.
Well, you can't do that now because they want to you the Bullet Club.
I'd rather Bullet Club.
Right.
I love the Bullet Club.
I love the Bullet Club, but no, we really killed that NWO.
we had
That's-
Darth
Darth Vader at the end of one of our fucking
Okay,
interviews.
so here's another question, hard-hitting question. With all the focus on geek culture and nerd culture, and I'm not just talking cons, I'm talking movies, comics, all the little cartoon movies that come out. Obviously, the big thing like lately and tonight is premiering at midnight is The Defenders on Netflix.
Right.
Oh no!
So-
not
Wait.
midnight.
No.
It premiered?
2 in the morning.
2 in the morning.
Today.
I gotta go to
Yeah.
work tomorrow.
I'm gonna wake
what
up
I'm
first
doing
thing in the
tomorrow.
morning.
shut
I'm watching the whole thing. It's only 8 episodes. That is my day tomorrow.
Wow.
No, 10.
Actually, you know what?
Yes.
No, shut up!
Yeah.
I gotta work.
Plug, because
Yes.
we love the except for Iron Fist. Fuck you.
Oh.
Hey.
No, it
God.
could have been done better.
Okay.
Yeah, let me
All right,
get
wait.
started.
Now,
Look,
Look,
all right.
you want to make this the topic?
Wait,
We'll fucking make it
Wait,
the topic.
Guys, I want to ask my question.
No, ask your question.
Ruined one of my favorite characters.
Ask your question, and then I can become the world's most hated cosplayer after
No,
I
no, no, no.
after
Say
I
it, and we
defend
do
Iron
this
Fist.
right now. Say it.
No. Okay, so ask your question, and then I'll defend Iron
no.
Fist after.
With everybody now having, now they're actually doing a lot of things that some people are calling controversial, like i.e. the new Domino that just came out, where
Okay.
she's black,
Yes.
and traditionally she has the white face with the diamond. But see, now here's the thing: in the comics, because she has the fucking white face, how do you know she ain't black?
That's very
Exactly.
And-
So now people are flipping the fuck out because instead of having her traditional little cut,
She
she's
has
got
her
the
little-
nice, beautiful. Oh, I wish I could have hair like that.
That
but
fro
oh,
is so
it's
perfect.
gorgeous.
First of all,
So
Absolutely
good.
gorgeous.
Zazie
fan
Beats
of that.
from
I've never
Atlanta.
been, like,
Yeah.
I was already the moment they announced, I was like, "Thank you, God."
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like
I think it's-
you,
I think
you
it's
see, like you
different. I
have
love it.
characters
Right.
like that I mean, Luke Cage is now in the spotlight.
Right.
And
Yes.
you know, we have Rosario Dawson, who plays, you know,
Right.
Black
Yes.
Nurse.
She's clear.
She's awesome. Like, a lot of these characters are now coming from where they were traditionally pushed into the background of all of these
Yes.
movies and playing supporting characters.
Nick Fury.
Nick
as well.
Fury,
Yeah.
I mean, the Black Panther.
That's
Oh
a-
God,
yes,
that movie
like-
is gonna be fantastic.
So good.
But now they're
Killmonger.
coming to
Shut up.
the forefront, and
Yes.
a lot of traditional people are saying, "What the fuck is this?" You know, because we're used to
Traditional
being
white, you know.
white supremacy. You know, it happens. All right, but shut up.
Sorry.
No.
Somebody got to.
I actually have
No.
an answer for this.
But,
Hey,
like,
I like Michael B.
now
Jordan.
I'm loving it
Yes,
because it's
yeah.
giving a lot of my friends more options.
Exactly.
You know, and my whole thing was, and everybody always pissed me off in the beginning when I first started playing. Like, they thought the only Black cosplay that they could do was Storm. And I'm
Right.
sitting there like, have you read X-Men? There's so many other
many
characters.
others.
But you don't know about it
But
because they
that
don't
you
push
don't
it.
that you don't know about because
Right.
they're not mainstream. But now they're
Storm
getting
and Bishop, that's
Storm
it.
and Bishop.
Yeah.
But now they're becoming mainstream.
Which is incredible.
Right, but again, like, this goes back to, you know, people giving you shit because you did Zatanna. Zatanna's not Black.
Right.
Traditionally. But I'm sitting here going, who the fuck cares? I don't care if you're purple. You
Yo,
want to dress
the
up as a
cosplay is
character,
good,
you
man. It's
cosplay as that
Exactly,
character.
and that should be what the root of cosplay is. If you identify with the character, no matter what their race is, go for it.
So,
like whatever
yeah.
size, whatever race they are. Like if you feel a connection,
then you
go
do
for it.
Then you do it.
In regard to the whole domino controversy, and Jocelyn and Akiim actually pointed out this podcast, another discussion that was online about Domino's afro. And a gentleman who was the host of this show, he said he's sick of when Black characters come about, they just throw an afro on her. And I'm like, that's not always the case, especially with
Because
this
Cable
actress.
traditionally has
So-
dreads.
Right.
He has dreads, you know? So, like,
Right.
what's the problem?
So I feel like in the guise of traditionally white characters becoming Black, I think it's interesting, especially if it's not something that has to do with who their character is at the core. I feel like you can interchange a little bit. Like at his core, Luke Cage, you know, he was a Black character. That's what he was made for. If they changed it, would it change the story? Maybe, but you know,
Wait, change
Like-
the case to white?
Here's the
I'm
thing.
saying hypothetically. I'm not saying like, right.
No, like,
Lucas.
say
Right.
say somebody
Exactly.
decides
His name would
to
be
cosplay
Lucas
and
Cage.
he's not Black.
He would be
Right.
Lucas Cage. He's a construction worker from Brooklyn.
But you see, the
Exactly.
thing is,
Okay,
it's,
so-
like, it's different to take a main superhero or
Right.
something and then change the ethnicity, right?
Exactly.
But
Well,
a
but they did it with
subpart-
Spider-Man.
but-
Oh,
uh,
And how
right.
many
not
people
really.
Now,
flipped
technically-
the fuck out?
But they made it a
Technically,
new
no.
Spider-Man.
Like,
Wait, hold
see,
on,
they
hold on.
did what I like.
Technically,
'cause-
those are sub
I have to explain something about
Right.
that, by the way.
and
Story
sub
type of
mutants.
name.
Those are not the famous mutants.
Exactly.
Like if they made Storm white, then they'll be like,
Right,
what
be
the
like,
fuck?
oh, that's kind of weird.
The
But
color
like,
of their
you know,
skin is at the core of the character. Like Luke Cage
Right.
wouldn't work. 'Cause Luke
Right.
Cage is
That's
black.
That's what I'm
Okay.
saying,
Not even
right.
So-
But
That's
basically,
everything
the,
you see
like,
a white
even
guy
though
sitting there
we
with
went
the
off the rails
crest,
on this,
right?
my
Yeah.
question is, do you guys feel relief now that you have a lot more options, or does it make you a little mad that you had to wait for them?
I'm excited about it for myself. It's like, yay, more. I feel like a lot of this is having more inclusion. Like making, again, cosplay is for everyone. So
Yeah.
if you were waiting for a character to be inspired by, now there are tons, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
So I feel like, you know, cosplay, you know, do it up. Like, you know, Vixen, you know, do Vixen, do Storm,
Right.
get a little more under the radar. I'm excited to see all the dominoes at New York Comic Con
Oh,
this year.
yeah.
Yeah.
I am
It's gonna
excited
be a
about
lot.
that.
It's gonna be a lot.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Valkyrie.
But like, does it
So-
make you
Yeah.
pissed off that you had to wait for that? Like,
You
does
an-
it bother you? Because I know that I get pissed off if it was mine.
It is annoying because it's like, you know, it's hard trying to find yourself in certain, you know, areas in life as a whole, especially
Okay,
when you're
so-
of
But
color.
technically, did you have to wait? Because
No.
Well, here's the thing.
You guys
Right.
done characters that are not black.
Well-
Right, that's
Right,
all.
that's
It's
what I'm
like-
like.
So-
For
it's-
me,
It's
not
not
necessarily.
really a relief. It's like, okay, now
Welcome
these
to the
guys,
party.
Okay, so wait,
now
so I
it's
have
like,
a-
okay, now you guys can do all those, but why limit yourself to just the black characters?
Right,
Do
that's
all
what
the
was for
characters,
me.
Why not?
That's
Because
why-
cosplay is for everyone.
Exactly.
So,
That's why
wait,
I'm
so-
excited that there's just more. So I'm like, yes, you know, if someone did feel limited because of race, now they have some more options.
Right.
For me, I'm just
Okay.
like, you know, I'm just gonna keep on trucking.
No,
'cause,
So-
you know,
like one year I took a picture. There was a dark phoenix with me. I was in the green. She was in the red, and she was gorgeous. This gorgeous black woman.
Right.
Absolutely fucking amazing cosplay, and she was rocking that shit.
Right.
And
Right.
I went away. and I stepped aside from her for a little bit, sat down because I was tired, and
Right.
I hear these. I'm gonna racist fucks sitting at one of the tables down in the little convenient area in the Javits,
Right.
talking shit about her, and I'm sitting there
Ew.
like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, yo, and that's why I'm saying, like, does it
Right.
piss you off that traditionally white characters were getting fucking bullshit if people tried to gender bend or color it or whatever? And now you have these options where it's like, oh, I'm not going to say shit anymore because you're doing a black cosplay.
Nah,
I actually have a
that-
good answer for that.
Please.
Okay, go ahead. You
No, go ahead.
Okay, so to go back to what you said about, let's talk about a couple of things. First of all, we have to talk about the comics themselves. Okay, so this is something that I've told close friends of mine, and some people may not know about this, and it kind of bothers me. But Miles Morales, I've told this to several people, and unfortunately, I have to say this now. Some people are gonna call me bullshit on it. Miles Morales was my idea, and I'm gonna tell you why. Back when we had MySpace, Alex Ross was actually a friend of mine on MySpace, and I confronted him about asking about pitching an idea to Marvel about a black Spider-Man. Being an African American man myself and a huge Spider-Man fan, I wanted to see a black Spider-Man. So I wanted to pitch an idea to them, and I asked him for his permission to use his concept art, because since Sony didn't use it, it's still his property.
Yes, it is.
He said he liked the idea, and he said he would present it to them for me.
You never got credit, did you?
Well, that's the weird thing. So he told me, after he responded back, he said that they told him that they weren't interested in any new ideas or whatever, and they'll email me if anything should come up. So a few years later, here comes this Miles Morales character who happens to be black and Latino,
Yeah,
which
they
I
were
feel
checking-
like,
like,
I
when I
think
first
was
said it, I was
a
like, oh,
going,
check,
right?
check.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about this which was very interesting was, okay, so a lot of people can say that, yeah, well, it's coincidence, you had it, but let's break it down. Look at his costume. His costume looks very identical to Alex Ross's costume.
Yes.
Okay, the fact that he's African American, young, there was just a lot of things there that really ticked me off, because, like I said, there was a lot of things that I had presented to Alex Ross that was too familiar, and I never really copyrighted anything or had proof of it, because this was just messages through MySpace or whatever. So
Find those.
that really bothered me and disturbed me. Like, for a long time, I didn't even read any of the Miles Morales comics. So moving forward, that goes back to what I was saying about comics. If comics would stop making characters black and start creating black characters, we would still have
Thank you.
more characters to dress up as or be. Now, granted, yes, every cosplay is for everybody. That also puts out several things, like was said before. If a person is going to be Black Panther or a Luke Cage, you're not going to change the race, because their ethnicity is their origin, and it is the center and core of their character. So moving forward to Domino, some people will say, and legitimately will actually feel this way, that it's not the color of the actor or actress, it's the color of the fact that she's supposed to have white skin like she is in the comic books. Now, what I'm
I
noticing,
feel that though people are using it as an excuse for
Yes.
them to
well, here's the
hate
thing,
on
I'm not going to
themselves.
say
That's why
that.
they mentioned it, as you said, the afro.
Well,
Because
I'm gonna touch that now. Now, I don't think that that's the case for everybody, but I do see it, because I've talked to some people, and they're like hardcore fans to the point that we want a movie and it has to look exactly like it did in the comic book. So they feel the same way about the characters when they represent it.
Purist.
Now, right. So the thing about Domino is this, and it had to be brought to my attention as well with the afro thing. Okay. Now, if people notice, she has vitiligo. How do you pronounce it?
on the
She has
mark, that's the
vitiligo.
mark that they
So
use.
with her being a mutant, who's to say that it's not going to progress into that later? I think
Right.
people make rash judgment based on a picture instead of just letting the performance speak for itself. I feel like if a character is going to play something, or if they were hired, because remember, they were auditioned, if they were hired, there's a reason for it.
And
See
Ryan
how-
Reynolds,
Yeah.
Right.
I trust his judgment.
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing is, if you look at people who complain about Heath Ledger, he nailed it. Okay.
Yes.
So you figure after that, and then after, like, even with Ben Affleck, some will say no. My thing is this: like, I remember when it was first announced, I was like, nah, whatever. And then, like, literally after a few minutes, I was like, wait, he'll be perfect Batman because he's an asshole, and Batman's an asshole. And every time Ben Affleck plays an asshole, he's really good at it. So that was my whole thing about it. Now, the thing is that everyone. What's going on?
So I
Firework,
know
firework.
fireworks.
Okay.
Show's over.
I'm ready to jump. So yeah, so my whole thing is this. All right, so the first complaint was, her costume is not exactly accurate. Let's talk about the whole Deadpool class. None of this stuff is completely comic book accurate. Deadpool's origin was changed. The only what's her name? Gina Carano. I don't remember my character's name. She's an amalgamation.
Angel?
Yeah, Angel.
Yeah.
Angel Dust or whatever her name was. She's an amalgamation of 3 different characters. Sonic,
yeah.
Mega Sonic. She was completely changed by appearance and her powers. Even Deadpool is technically changed because when he first started, he was muscular, and now he's like really thin. So, I mean, the thing is, and then the origin of Deadpool himself was changed.
Apparently you went on a hunger strike after Ben Affleck signed on?
I went on a hunger strike. That's not true.
Jocelyn, like, calling you out.
She's
Calling you
no,
out.
I don't know about all of that, but okay. So, anyway, now the thing was this. Now, with all those changes happening, what bothers me is when people are looking for excuses and not facts.
Right.
Like when people try to say Domino's costume is not accurate. Yes, it is. If you look at her actual outfit, not her skin color, not her hair, it is exactly as it is in the comic books. Now, when you cast a black actress, as it was brought to my attention, they always put them in these perms or whatever. So whenever they do finally put a black actress with an afro, they always go to the whole Foxy Brown stereotype, which is what becomes offensive and a problem. And
Sorry, rice burner.
right. So that's where the problem is. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know, especially if you're not African American, is that that's our natural hair texture. I mean, you know, unless you're mixed or whatever, that's our natural hair texture. So for them to say slap an afro on her, no, that's what the hair she was born with. And I love the fact that they're allowing the character.
No.
I like the fact that they're allowing the character to have the hair the way it would be if she wasn't to change it. They're showing that she is strong in her character and she's not changing who she is. And I love that.
And of
now,
course, to stand up to Deadpool and hit that level,
Right.
she has to be, because in the comics, she is the tough one.
right.
To Deadpool's
So
foolishness.
the thing is, like I said, I'm gonna say this now, and I want everyone to hear it. If you are complaining about the costume, you are bullshitting and you are lying, and I will give you several examples.
You're basically using it to mask your racism.
Yes.
Well, some degree, I will say mask your racism, and I will also say, just you're so used to something.
Narrow-minded.
Well, when you're so used to something, you're not used to change. You automatically try to downplay it and you make excuses. And like I said, I'm going to give you several examples to pretty much prove that you're bullshitting. Blade. The original Blade was not like that. He was changed in the movies and everyone loved him. The original Blade, basically, he was just good with edged weapons and he was immune to vampire bats. Boring, hence the fact he was changed in the movie. Batman. He has not ever worn a costume he has worn in the comic books, and unless you count Batman vs. Superman, and that's an amalgamation of the 52 and the symbol from Dark Knight Returns. So again, whenever you're saying that a movie's going to suck because Fox doesn't know what they're doing because they're changing the costumes, no, you're lying to yourself and you're lying to other people. Because the fact of the matter is, Deadpool did really well, okay, and it wasn't comic book accurate. And like I said, Blade and all these other characters that are being changed, they're doing really well. Spider-Man's costume isn't completely accurate. So, I mean, the thing is, stop lying to yourselves. I understand that you want things to stay a certain way, but things don't get better unless there's change. Okay, people complained about the bully in Homecoming for Spider-Man, and some try to say it was a problem because he was Indian. Some try to say it was a problem because he wasn't the football type. My argument, even though some disagree, was in this day and age, right, you're not going to get that bully anymore. And that bully is kind of cliche and played out. Right. And you're playing to a new audience now.
It's not the 80s anymore.
Right. You know, I'm 42 years old, so I understand. Shut up. I understand. I understand that Raimi's Spider-Man was of that era. I also understand Amazing Spider-Man was of the Ultimate era. I also know Homecoming is bringing it back to the era Sam Raimi is trying to do, but they're trying to give it that ultimate feel where everything is closer to what we deal with today. Because otherwise these movies, because otherwise these movies are not going to make any sense anymore. Right. Hence
cyberbullying,
right.
And more of verbal bullying than actual physical.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So now going back to cosplay.
No more swirlies.
So now going back to the role of cosplay. It's a good thing that we are getting these characters, but I feel like us as a people, if we are into the comic book scene, we're going to know of different characters of cosplay. And ironically, there's a lot of characters. Like, I'm not a DC person, but I keep seeing Black Lighting a lot, and now he has his own TV show coming up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of characters.
Static Shock.
Right. So there's a lot of characters that you may not know of, but
Black
other
Manta.
right. But as you see other cosplayers that are willing to try these new characters, you get to know who they are. So I think that's a good thing. Like I said, when I first started doing Monkey King, very few people, I'm just going to be blunt, unless you were Asian, you didn't know who I was. You thought I was Planet of the Apes. I think a very few people.
So many people were like,
Yeah.
"You're Planet of the Apes, aren't you?"
Yeah. Very few people.
Somebody in Planet of the Apes.
What the hell did they think you were, Dr. Zayas? Like,
Well,
what?
Dr. Zayas.
In all fairness,
Caesar.
if you see my first costume, I can kind of see where they would think
The mask
that.
was a little different.
But like I said, ironically, they didn't know who I was. And, that's what made me change it up a bit. So I think that more exposure to different characters helps out a lot. I
Yeah.
think, again, going back to the comic books, if they would create more characters instead of turning characters to be black, turning Captain America into Falcon, no, just create new characters. And stop saying that black characters don't sell. It's not the characters that's not selling, it's your writing isn't selling.
Correct.
Get better writers or learn how to tell better stories.
And Black Panther's proving that right now because
Exactly.
everybody
He is the most
hyped.
popular.
Right.
He is the
Right.
top. He's at
Yes,
the top.
everybody's
He's
ready.
And it's not even that. The
Yeah.
problem is in a lot of comics, and this is actually, you can actually track it to the comic evolution. It was traditionally all white. And then as, the race wars and everything that was going on in the country, the World War, everything, because you notice that comics, when Superman started, it was in the 1930s.
Right.
So obviously you're going to be focusing on what's going on in that time, the Great Depression,
Right.
then World War II.
Then the Cold
and then
War,
the Cold
and
War,
this
and then
and
you
that.
have the Korean War. So obviously all those characters are going to be you're going to try
go
to
through an
amp up
evolution.
the people
Right.
to say, USA, USA, USA. But see, at the same time as anybody who knows their history is, there was a lot of racial tension in that time. And then and then in the 70s, it just exploded.
Right.
And then even in the 80s, you guys started getting a little recognition, but your characters were always stereotyped.
Right.
They were always loud, obnoxious. They were always doing stupid shit, barreling headfirst into things. And it gave you guys a stereotype that was already there, and it just hammered it into newer generations.
I think
And
that's-
now they're trying to rewrite it, and I
Right.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it, because now they're trying to present the educated, the powerful,
Yes.
the just everything good that you would see in a white character
Right.
into a black character. And people are like, oh, I don't know how to feel about this. No, you fucking accept it and you like it.
Right.
You know why? Because people are the whole PC thing. It's just not. It's
PC
just
is
people-
going too far. I
Right.
think.
People are like,
Yeah.
no, we need to do this. We need
you
to
don't
show
have-
everyone
let
that
it-
we're not like this anymore. And it's just
It's
like,
almost
no,
forcing
it's almost
it.
like you're forcing stuff down people's
Right.
throat, and they're like,
Right.
don't play fake with me. Just give me what it really is.
Exactly.
Which is why Luke Cage is so great right now, and Black
Right.
Panther.
Yeah.
They're giving us what it
No
actually is.
sugarcoat.
You know,
No,
which is why
nothing.
like
Right.
the
And on
whole
top of that,
Wakanda
it's
thing,
also
it's
giving you
also
guys role
embracing
models.
the African
Yes.
like culture,
Definitely.
and it's like, here it is. It's not like forcing anything. It's not just saying here's a pretty picture on it. No,
Right.
this is what it is. Same thing with Luke Cage. This is what it is.
Right.
So to wrap this up, we're basically gonna finish the interview and go on with the show.
No,
What?
finish the interview.
Oh, what?
Finish the show.
Okay, whatever. We're finishing.
This
Yeah,
was
like
this
a-
was
it
it.
was
You
like a mix.
you didn't even realize you incorporated the topic anyway.
Oh, I did. Okay.
Yes.
I thought you did that on purpose. Like, I'm like, that's how I was giving you the thumbs
That's
up.
why we were like, yeah, she's
I'm like,
on
she
it.
did it.
My whole take on it is, and again, here we're gonna go back to the race. White people have had role models in Superman, Captain America. We have had those role models in Wonder Woman, in all these other characters. But what have you guys had?
Hey, wait.
You know,
I
like
didn't have. I found my role models. I
Well-
used to find I didn't have. I like Superman and Batman.
Well, I'm
But
saying
I-
that you guys.
Damn right, Zach from Power
Right,
Rangers.
but
Right
you-
here, man. Fuck out of here.
But,
I was
but
like,
again, but even
I-
that was in the
I
90s.
was a fan of War
Right.
Machine
But
back
even
in the
that was
originals.
even that was in the 90s, though.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
talking about
but before
the
that,
older
yes, it-
generation didn't have that. They weren't privileged to that.
That's
They
true.
didn't get that. And now our generation,
had- yeah,
thank the
yeah.
gods,
We
is
were
getting
spoiled, yeah.
this amazing, strong characters
Yeah.
that say someone that's the same age as Tommy's son
Oh, you're back
can look
again.
up
Yeah,
to
Yeah, he
and
doesn't
want to
have.
grow
He doesn't
up
have to look because
and be that way. And
when Static
honestly,
Shock came out, I was like, yeah.
yeah.
It was so exciting.
It was
I was like,
amazing.
this is cool.
But
My
even
son-
then,
my
even
son
then, they
likes
kind of
Black
stereotyped
Panther.
him.
Yeah,
with
Right.
Show him a picture of
Like,
Black
very
Panther. He
little
points
bit.
him out
You
and he's
know,
like, that's
but,
Black
like-
Panther. I'm like, you fucking
But like
damn
this
right
is
that's
what I'm
Black
saying.
Panther.
Like I'm loving the fact that cosplay and conventions and comics and movies have now evolved.
Yes.
Just like we as cosplayers evolve. So hey, you know what? That's basically where I'm going to end
Yeah,
it.
people.
That's basically
There's
where
people trying to, push back, as you
Yeah,
see.
like,
But
of course,
no, you can't stop the wheel, man.
No, it keeps on
It
turning.
keeps on turning.
But like, I'm loving the fact that you guys were doing this about the same amount of time that I've been doing it. That you guys stood strong and still did what you wanted, how you wanted, and didn't give a shit what anybody thought about it.
It's funny because my grandma, I love my grandma. She's so funny. She's like, I start telling her, about, comic conventions, and she's like, she doesn't really get it, but she's like, I like that you're doing what you enjoy, and it's interesting. Yeah. And I'm like, thanks, Grandma. I'm like, thanks.
That's great, because at the end of the day, we do what we do because we love to do it. Yeah.
Right.
Regardless of race or ethnicity or what we all believe in,
right.
anything.
Especially in this culture,
and
that is the thing where it unites everybody.
Right. Yeah. The whole reason why we're all sitting at this table, different ethnicities, different beliefs, different ways of growing up and stuff. Like, we are all here because of a common interest.
Right. And love.
And love for what we do and what we grew up on and what we watch and what we see.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, that's all that should matter.
Exactly.
And all these other people with all the money, they should see
they're
what
saying it.
United America is.
I want Black Panther to sell so much.
Yes.
Oh my God!
They come
I think
to
I may
a New
watch
York,
it twice
they
just
go
to give
to
them
a,
that.
They go
Oh
to
my
a con
God.
and they'll see pure love
Yes.
right there and there, and that's what human beings are supposed to be.
Exactly.
Right? Or just a straight love for our brothers and sisters. and that's it.
Yes.
Because in the end, we all descended from the same people.
Right.
So
like at the end of the day.
before we end this, there is something I do want to say because I'm
Please
thinking
do.
about it now. All right, so you asked me before about how I felt about the whole cosplay thing and, getting new characters. Ironically, that's not the argument that bothers me the most. Now that I think about the one that bothers me the most is, and I'll use Luke Cage as an example or Black Panther as an example. When you have these shows coming out and the first thing, and I'm gonna just put it out there, white America's like, oh, there's not enough whites or whatever in this show or whatever.
You say that about Black Panther?
And the thing that bothers me about that most of all is that, like, if I go to any show and I count how many blacks are in that show, no one wants to say anything about that. And I find it. Oh, that's me.
I thought that was the church over here that was the bells.
I was like, what?
Sorry.
Hey.
Sorry, my Battle Royal theme. Okay, so yeah, I think that's my biggest pet peeve is when I hear, people like, oh, we need to be included in everything, but you didn't include us. So now that we have something that is of our own, now you want to take that from us too. I mean, like, for example, very few people may know this, but if you watch Spawn, which I give Tommy Fron a lot of credit because he was one of the first, or if not the first, comic book artist to make the character black and not have a black oriented background. He just happened to be black.
No, he was. He was the first artist
Right.
to actually do it.
So I give him a lot of credit for that. Now the thing is, Charles Fitzgerald is his best friend who happens to be African American, but in the movie he was white. Now,
Whitewashing.
right now the
I didn't know
whitewashing
that. When
thing.
I looked it up, I was like, wait, what? Yeah. I didn't
Now, the whitewashing thing, I see a lot of people complaining about, and I find it interesting how, okay, I get it to a certain extent. Like, if you audition this amount of black people and this amount of white people, and the person has a better performance happens to not fit the race, I get it. And but the problem is this.
Racial thing in the 90s or whatever. They're like, ooh, let's put the odd couple thing. And
Yeah, it probably was. But, it's also, it's all about selling.
So I will make it quick. So the thing that bothers me most of all is that when people try to compare that when they turn a white character black. And I'm like, I have to explain to them first what whitewashing is. Whitewashing is an act of taking jobs from black people
to try to make it possible.
And well, not just that, because if you look at when blackfacing started,
Oh God.
when blackfacing started, it was basically to mock us and put caricatures on us, but not hire us and give us jobs. So now when you're taking characters that are white or black and having white actors replace them, you're doing the same thing. You're still blackfacing us, but in reverse, if that makes sense.
It does.
So that's what kind of bothers me. But then when they take a black character or black actor who's playing a character who's not associated by race, first thing people want to do is complain about it. But I'm like, you're not really taking a job away from a Caucasian person. You know, you're giving an African American person a job.
I'm a dude disguised as another dude.
I'm sorry, he got nominated for an Academy Award for that. by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah, that was
So and then you know what the funny thing about that is that was done, and it was done really well because they even touched on it in the movie. And that's why he got away with it.
The hypocrisy of
Yeah.
it in the movie.
You know, and I think that was really, you know, great on them.
It was
And I praise Robert
Only
Downey Jr.
Robert
for it.
Downey Jr. could get away with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only
So,
Tony Stark.
you know, I think like I said, just to end it, I think that's my biggest pet peeve is that, you know, to hear comments like that, and it's like there's no forethought into it.
Right.
All right, so honestly, I think we should hold hands and sing Kumbaya.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want to be on film?
We got really heavy tonight.
That was what
We got very heavy. And you know what?
Yes.
It wasn't that bad. It was necessary. Sometimes, especially with what's going on,
Yeah.
sometimes we have to.
Yeah.
Charlottesville.
Yeah, so it's sometimes that's
All
necessary,
these
like
tiki torches
to know
being
that
sold
in
and
this
Home
culture we
Depot.
don't have
Right.
any tolerance for all that bullshit. It's because like we go to Comic Cons, we see everyone is
That's what
everyone.
I'm saying. It's
Everyone
all
gets
love.
together. If you look at our interviews,
Yep.
we talk with everybody.
Look at our
Right.
show.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously,
We
at
got
every
all
single
colors of the
show,
rainbow
we
over
have
here.
almost every single race always represented.
yeah,
Right.
like so.
Which is awesome because at the end of the day, people are people, and especially if
Exactly.
you're
Right.
full of love,
Right.
there shouldn't be nothing that divides us at the end of the day.
I challenge everyone out there who has a certain belief and has a certain stereotype from everyone else or a certain ethnicity to come to a con and see all the love
and
that
see
is
how
spread
there's no room for any of that.
at
We
a
are-
con. And there's no
Because when
room
we
for
all
that in
see
anybody's heart.
the greatest cosplay ever, if you see a Deadpool or a sick Iron Man or a sick Spider-Man, we all having the same reaction. Holy shit! Can we get a
Yeah.
picture?
Yes,
That's it.
always.
You're welcome.
That's our reaction.
You guys
so.
were at EternalCon. You saw my Mira bunny.
Yes,
She was a light skin.
like so
And Mira's
good.
traditionally a white redhead.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, she killed it.
killed the game, and at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
See about
So
But you know what else though? I also look at it and somebody like that has like a kid too. Like when my son looks at somebody it could be an African American or it doesn't matter, and his face lights up and he's like, wow, that's Iron Man, or wow, that's Spider-Man. He saw Miles Morales, and to him he just knows that's Spider-Man. He doesn't really know the
Right.
backstory. But he'll look and he's like, wow, it's Spider-Man. He runs up to him and take a picture. And I'm like, that's what it's about.
Yes.
He's a child and his
Yes.
eyes light up. And at 30 years old, my eyes light up like, yeah, this is
Do
amazing.
you guys remember at EternalCon where I was literally tackled by like 3 little black girls because they saw me as Wonder Woman and were going crazy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were yelling. You heard them.
Like literally, it was so cute. Like it didn't matter that I wasn't Wonder Woman from the movie. It was
Right.
I was a Wonder Woman.
Yes.
They saw me and they were
And
like,
they were hyped.
on top of
Exactly.
their lungs.
Yes.
And they had no discrimination. They didn't care that I had tattoos. They
Right.
didn't care that I wasn't an actual
Because
that I had
in,
bunny ears.
in that moment, you
in-
were Wonder Woman.
yeah, and they were
Right.
freaking out about it. And I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
You're
And I don't even like kids like that. So and most of the time I'm like,
sound like
yeah,
Jocelyn.
Alright.
yeah.
Let's close out.
Let's close it
Let's
out.
go.
Yeah.
Let's go around. Miss Jade Phoenix, close us out.
All right, so this was episode 95 featuring Blaq Cosplay Unlimited.
Blaq with a Q.
Yes, Blaq with a Q. We will be posting up all info to their pages and everything so you can find them on our stuff as we always do. But we appreciate everyone who joined us today, commented. Thank you for interacting, giving us pointers and hashtags, because that hashtag was amazing, Jocelyn.
Yes.
Hashtag of the night, you won that.
That's a good one.
Yes.
The hashtag of the night.
Yes.
Hashtag of the night. Hey, at midnight isn't on anymore. I can take it. So,
Yes.
hashtag of the night does go to Jocelyn. Thank you for watching us. Again, August 19th. That's 2 days away. We are hosting the takeover at Lone Star Bar and Grill. All right, it's gonna be a really good time. We have so many awesome surprises lined up for you. I really hope you guys who are watching, everybody who follows
Movie
us,
trivia.
yes, movie trivia
And TV.
The Wheel of Sin. We have, it's going to be a really good time. I hope everybody who can join us joins us, and everybody who doesn't
It's
tunes
free.
in online.
Free?
It's free to
Yeah,
go.
it's free.
I
It's
may
free.
go dressed up in costume.
Yeah.
Yo,
no,
I'm
please
yes,
do.
it's a cosplay.
No, it's
It's Cosplay Appreciation
actually-
Month,
I'm-
and it's encouraged.
I'm
Yes.
I'm going as
debuting
Iron
a
Fist.
cosplay at the party.
Even wear a shirt out.
I'm
I haven't wear the
debuting
shirt
a
yet.
cosplay at the party, one that I've never done before. So, yeah, tune in. Obviously, show up. The food is amazing. The drinks are going to be on
And very
fire.
cheap. It's a
Phenomenal
special.
finger food, guys.
Phenomenal finger food.
Yeah, and there's drink specials
That's what
until
she
about 8,
said.
9 o'clock.
Yeah. And of course, I'm going to leave it over to you. What's happening on that day?
Oh, so on top of the trivia and on top of the giveaways and on top of the cosplay, we are also going to have a very special performance by yours truly, Mr. Malave. And my new single is available now, Hustle Hard, featuring Jay Sosa, which is actually going to perform with me. And I filmed a video last Friday for Hustle Hard, which should be out in a couple of weeks as well. And it's just going to be an amazing time. The DJ is going to be there. He's phenomenal. And we're just going to party all night long. So come and party with us August 19th. And today it was amazing talking to you guys. And like I said, I challenge everybody out there who has any questions or any kind of hate in their heart to come to a con and see all the love that is spread amongst everyone. That is my challenge to you guys. And that's it. August 19th, the takeover. Second Rounds on Us presents it. Mr. Malave will be performing trivia. It's going to be amazing. 2 days away. I hope everyone comes and have a good time with us. Mr. Malave.
Woo!
Tommy.
Well, before I say my goodbye, I just want to shout out to Cage Inc., which is actually in Florida. They are a YouTube channel. They're actually joining us this month for Cosplayers Month. They're going to be doing some interviews as well with cosplayers down in Florida. So shout out to them. I'm really glad we get to work with you guys for this because we're spreading it out. We're spreading the love. You know, with this we're doing. We're spreading the love.
Cheers.
And yeah, like I had a lot of fun. I learned a lot from you guys, which is great. You know, and like I said, I mean, cosplaying to me is always about you took something from a comic book, a book, a television show, and you put it in front of my face. You got me happy. You got me excited.
Giggity.
Giggity. And when I see my own son, his eyes light up just to look at a cosplayer, just a character that he loves, it makes me feel good. And I think that's what really matters. We do, you know, we all do this for the fans. We do this for the people that love this. You guys do it for fans. You do it for the kids. And this is really what matters the most, I think, in this world. Fuck the haters. Fuck the shit that's going on. Fuck the president. And that's the best way to put it down. That's the best way I'm going to put it down. My name is Tommy James, Mr. Oh So Smooth, and I will be there Saturday, August 19th at the Takeover. I'm really excited for it.
Yes.
It's the go home show, guys.
It's the go home.
This is the go home show. This is the go home show.
Susan, you're up.
Well, I'm just excited. Like, thank you guys again for having us.
thank you.
Like,
Oh, no. Thank
it
you
was
for
so
being here.
serendipitous.
And you're welcome anytime.
I'm excited.
Both of you.
Like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's serendipitous that we were able to meet at EternalCon, and this was so exciting. It's just fun, you know. Jocelyn was originally the founder of Blaq Cosplay. We're just we're her cronies. We just kind of help, you know,
I just take
spread
credit.
the word.
Just to Jocelyn,
So
too.
thank yes,
Just
that's
who's
what I
been
did.
interactive with us
Yes,
all.
yes. Cheers to Jocelyn.
She's the mastermind of this, and you know, it's really cool seeing our little group start to grow a little bit and just really be a support system for not just Blaq cosplayers, all cosplayers in general. So thanks for having us, and I can't wait to do it again.
Yeah.
I'll tell more stories next time.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
We're going to have an episode strictly on
Tales of the Comic-Con.
Susan, still
Comic-Con confessions.
Yes.
So basically, since she tried to like steal the show as well as words from my mouth, I'll just say I'm glad I was invited to this. It was definitely an experience. And I'm going to throw a cheap plug out there, Blaq Cosplay Unlimited.
Of course.
BLAQ.
It's not a
Plug it,
cheap
plug it.
So yeah, I mean, we've grown a lot actually, which is surprising. I remember when we only had
Like 20 people.
we had like 20 to 50 people, and I was excited. And now I don't even know how many.
We're at
398.
We're at 350 or
Whoa,
something.
398.
Yeah, so there you go.
He just said, he just checked. He says you guys are at
Oh,
398.
what?
Oh,
Yeah,
so,
let me check.
Oh, hey, thanks, guys.
so I want
I'm
to thank
like,
everybody
alright.
who's joined, who has pretty much contributed to the group. Again, it is Jocelyn's baby.
Oh, my bad. 341.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Either way, hey,
That's
we'll
still
take
cute.
it.
That's still
cute.
there.
That's still a lot.
Yes.
But yeah, like I said,
Actually, 348 now.
giving credit and props to
Yeah.
Jocelyn, 'cause she is the mastermind and mother of it, even though I do take credit.
Oh my God.
But yeah, you know, again, thanks for having us, and hopefully we can do it again. I might even show up in cosplay one time.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, please do.
And we end the show
This
with
is-
the mastermind.
This is Alex A. Town Ryan, and this has been great. This is exactly how I hoped it would have turned out. Especially after what happened Saturday, I was like, all right, how are we gonna do
last
this?
week.
And what happened last week?
Oh,
It's like
mercy.
it was like everything was leading up to this episode, and I was hoping that we can find a way to get a good message out there while still laugh, while still joke. I wasn't expecting tales from Comic-Con. We're gonna have to find Volume 1. I wasn't expecting. That was just amazing, by the way.
Volume 1.
Like. So thank
got
you,
a million of
thank
them.
you, Susan. Thank you, Wukong. What name are you going by? You have like a million names tonight.
I know, that's the whole point. Ninja. You can never track me down.
Yeah.
Pick one.
All right. So thank you.
I go by
guys.
Wukong for the
Thank
group.
you, Jocelyn. Next time you will be alive. Because if you type as much as you speak, gold.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Oh,
gold.
you have no idea what you're missing out on.
So you will be here next time live,
Yes.
and that's it. Let's call it a night.
So are we giving
August
this a
19th.
second round all around?
You're damn right. This
So
is the
that-
second round.
All around.